Kitty, you can hear now.
Now better.
Yeah. So, so the purpose of me asking this time is to explain and see how we could conduct ourselves in the future.
Yeah.
I must first acknowledge Ajit Pereira has done a fabulous job for a period of time, right? Because this is not any accusation within the organization or anything, but it's good to formulate and understand how we should conduct a meeting. Now, I think I have served Sarat's time. I have served one's time in the board, and I know when original this thing was started. Yeah, both, right? So basically, I'm saying over a period of time, I want to be very open. I have seen some change in Ajit, right? Maybe whatever the reasons, right? It's immaterial, right? Us to go forward professionally, we need to get our lives corrected. If we are wrong, we must correct it. If they are wrong, they are corrected. This is not finding fault or accusation. This is a fact which we need to upgrade ourselves, right? That's the most important thing. Who are we and what are we, right? And where do we lead ourselves from this position to? Fatima, can you all just let me finish this, please? I need this time for myself, please. You know, when you all come, I get disturbed. Surely, we have to make sure that nobody comes in, because it's not that I'm worried, but I mean, these are, yeah, because we don't want to insult anybody or create unnecessary things. No interference, right? So number one is why it has happened, what has happened. I think you should appoint 3-member committee to have a discussion and resolve if there are any problems. If there are no problems, people feel fine by me, but I think we need to, end of my conversation, you all need to decide what is our solution, right? So normally all the AGMs in the past, right? Sarat's time, I sat all 3 times. Then even Ruan's, now I'm sitting on yours. We have had a board meeting, and whatever the letters which we have got, we have tabled it to the secretary. Secretary has said it to, and from the board we go and say, board from the chair, these are the names which is proposed. Yeah, that was traditional practice. I mean, it's Sarat's time, all that. And in the event, there has been sometimes, there have been 2 people from Ratnapura. Then we ask both parties to talk to those parties and resolve their matters and come. If they have not sent the matter in advance, this was our standard practice, right? This has been our practice for the 4 years. I served for 2 years for him and 1 addressing him, right? Some you may be there as director, some of you may not as director. And our company secretary has been the same. So I think we have a protocol that we board, and from the chair, board goes and give. Board is being appointed by the executive council. Executive council, we go back to the executive council, and in board decision is this, right? After that, somebody wants to challenge all those things, that is beyond board control. But that is why board is there, and there are practices which has happened, good practices which we have to implement. So I think that practice went out of hand completely, right? So normally any appointees letters must come to the chair, as well as a copy must go to the company secretary, which nobody knew, right? Yeah.
That came to me as well as
no.
Yours from you.
No, I sent my one to.
Yeah, and
no,
this one also I got. And I think many.
No, when we asked him, before. No.
So that day he asked the person who has to handle all
Yeah,
these things.
so he didn't know.
I didn't know. It was how many nominations. I got only from 5 nominations. People for four nominations. You should get everything. So you are the person who are going to conduct that. At the AGM only, I came to know one per nomination. Right.
So that has to be corrected. Yeah.
So that lapse need to be corrected, because we we have to get these things corrected so that we don't see, end of the day, Shirley, we are here as we have got to know each other from this. I mean, I got to know all of you all other than Tusita from here, from Federation, right? We must leave this place gracefully and having the relationship, right? So that is very, very important now. Keith, you, all of us got to know from the Federation. Why should we have a tiff between us if we can't speak to each other straight? Right? We don't need to get there. Shouldn't have happened, right? So that was, I thought, very ugly, because when I came in, I asked, did you get my one? How many has come? Because I knew there was a problem. And I asked how many. That's why I brought all these documents also. I mean, I knew what we were heading to. I mean, I'm not a full drop from the sun or whatever. No? So he said only 4. These are the 4 names. So others not come. So we need to get this right, Shelley. Before,
The 4 names. What are the 4 names that came?
Coil was there. This one was there. I remember.
Gold chamber, Matala chamber, Stone Institute of Builders, CNC. I didn't get Stone chamber, Kalkara, Pitches. I think. Yeah, I didn't get, so I didn't get that.
Yeah.
The others also I got, and then Secretary General would have got, then he should have not.
He
Okay.
should inform me.
That is, yes.
He should inform me.
Yeah.
That's why I made note of.
Right. Then normally there should be a approved agenda for the meeting. Right. That agenda need to be gone through the board to approve it. Because it's board's responsibility. It's not Secretary General's responsibility. It's
Board
board.
members may request.
Yeah.
I need to talk like you.
Yeah.
If some reason he wants to change or do something, they have the right to request from the president and the company secretary that I want to include this. That is why he is the member of the board.
So
So what you say is the agenda has to come to the board.
board has to approve that agenda.
Predetermined.
Predetermined
You have to circulate and request
anybody.
members any suggestions.
So even any council member needs to speak on the notice. The council member say, I need to speak. Then the person will be permitted. Under finance declaration or annual report, they can question it. Generally, we serve the thing, and on that also we can ask, should you have any questions, please raise. So that we all go prepared. We can't have out of the agenda items being brought, right? And that's something which is very important.
The other thing you brought in first is that we should have a board meeting before the AGM. What do you say about that?
Yes, yes.
We have to have
That is the practice. That is otherwise.
Up to the
That
last
is-
day, just before the AGM, we should have a board meeting to consider what are the suggestions or any
Yeah.
before the-
request.
Normally, the consensus also given. Now, say example, I think Shirley, you were there between him and Kuladeepan. We got the consensus before we went there, right? Whoever came and said certain things, yes. But I mean, that day I got up and said, I stepped down because I thought we should give opportunity to outstation. That's what it is.
So I actually suggested about the board meeting, but then.
Shirley, you are the
Said, yeah.
Shirley, you are the chair. Don't tell us.
Then we
Yeah.
then issue and we had to
No,
have a board meeting. as
No,
well.
Shirley, you can't act as you don't know being the chair. You have sat long before me. You also have sat during Mr. Sarat Kahapalaraki's, Mr. Juan Idrising's time. So you should know what they practice. And you can ask the company secretary also. You can't do whatever anybody says if it's important. So that you
can write to the secretary. What letters you have to consider.
consider. So, I mean, then what happens is among ourselves, we are fighting. That's what it is, you know. Then I think every single member,
And also, I think if there is any
ambiguity.
any regularity, company secretary also can advise
Yeah,
and say, okay,
I normally ask you,
They ask me.
normally for anything else, I always
He
ask.
told me that you take with Secretary General and he said he's doing everything according to my
Yeah,
advice.
according to, that's what he told,
My
according to
advice
the.
was fully based on the article of association. So he asked today something and after 2 weeks something, he gave all this, connect everything and take the,
Yeah.
Okay.
So other thing is every single member, I would like you all to read the Constitution of Federation, right? The Federation Constitution or articles will, especially when you are sitting on the chair, you should know word by word what it says, right? So it's not about against Ajit Pereira or any worker here, right? It is about your constitution, your understanding your articles of association of this. And I don't expect most of you all to read the Companies Act, but when you sit on the chair position, you should minimum buy this book from the place which is available at Narayanpeta and read this
No,
publication,
I
right?
have the concept.
Yeah, so because
All
this,
the time,
yeah, this too will give you everything what I am speaking today, right? These articles are very clear that board is the superior because board has the right to call a meeting, board has the right to say who can sit in it, right? It's very clear. So one can say word custodian is basically is taking care of all as a secretary. Custodian is not the owner of the place. Owners are all directors. If you don't pay ETF, EPF, it's cut from our money. If you don't file returns, it's our money. If you don't do the accounts, it's ours, not Secretary General or EC. So read these documents properly and try and understand that there is nothing to say that board of directors are superseded by the secretary, right? Custodian word is his job is to, we have appointed him as the Secretary General and CEO to run this whole operation. We are not getting involved in day-to-day management, and listen, we are policy decision makers. We are acting as, according to the Companies Act, as directors of this establishment. Yeah, decision taking. We are not involved with his day-to-day running. We are not going to tell him this is the way you should sit, this is where you should sit. We are, and this is how you should. But as directors, we make, as Mr. Karapala said, we make decisions. So this is something important for all of us to understand. What is director post and what the Secretary General? Secretary General is, I'm not looking down on him. Unless we put things right, we are going to have a lot more problems. We will end up in courts with legal battles, right?
Okay, excuse me. I want to ask you, you all are the people who have done constitution, no? So according to that, it says Secretary General is the custodian. I am not actually
Custodian
confused.
means,
What do you mean?
according to the article,
Yeah.
if we suggest something contrary to the article, he can come back and tell us, no, this is not included in this way. This is the way you can. And he also can advise us to the board. Custodian is not the owner. We are the owners. We are the members of this federation. Only thing is, he can say, right, if we do this in this way, it will be a court case.
He
We have
can
to go
only
according to the
advise us.
Articles.
That-
In addition, if you are not
We-
doing
we
anything,
adhere to the
automatic,
article.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so basically now I'll elaborate to you when the we were not having a AGM, when he brought it up, Kusit brought it up, we should have a AGM accordingly. We said right, that should come from company's Secretary General to say, board, you all have not had this, kindly have, you all have not accounted for your ETF, EPF, make sure you are done it. You have not audited this, please make sure it's been done. That is his job. So that is what you call custodian of establishment. So try and, this is sad that we have taken 2 years to me to come and explain. I try to explain, but none of you all wanted to listen. Remind us.
Audit and AGM you have to have within 2 years. First year, just after first year, you have to have the AGM. Second year, you have to hand it over.
Yeah.
Then he can come and advise.
In between. I mean, if you are not having a board meeting proper,
Yes.
he, company secretary has right, and he also has a right to write to the directors. You all have failed to have this under this particle of your articles, right? That's his job. He's not the, he doesn't supersede the directors and the chair,
No, no.
right? That's very loud and clear. That's why it gives rights even to he's by invitation. So read this properly. By invitation is by invitation. So then he should say board of directors are by invitation. He is by regulator, right? So like please try and
Other than these members, board of directors, all others on
invitation. Right? So now legal implications, right? Legal implications. I want to talk about that day. Coil was very upset. The Coil, I think, Dhammik was there. I don't know how many of you all know about Coil,
I
right?
do. That's why I came.
Huh?
That's why I came to the court.
Yeah.
Okay, and then here, on the right, there is a
Yeah.
president character.
Yeah. So we, right? Basically, right? Surely. Now I'll give you example. We had our AGM on March 10th. Every year we have our AGM on March 10th. Here is our annual report on March 10th. Right? I just brought this to show you all professionalism. Right? Then this is the 21. Right? This is the 20. So if you want 19 also, I can give COVID time also. We did all this. Right?
That you have done.
Yeah. So when you
Is small.
Yeah.
They are now in great trouble. All
Yeah.
chambers. Some may have
no,
done.
it's all right. What happens is when we write you, we have been in this establishment as a COIL member, right? Before Wattu took over, of course, COIL was to get vice presidency to what during Wattu's time to Vegapitia, right? Then whoever wanted to, do certain things, COIL decided that we are going to pull out, and Vegapitia said he wanted to pull out. Then we were not in it. I think Sarath Hapalar this time to one everything.
And me only.
Yeah, so
Only.
everybody
All
left.
others
So
left.
right, then I was invited. Then the COIL took a decision. Fine, we will put somebody in there. COIL to put me also. There was reasons, right? So generally, when COIL put somebody, COIL also, when COIL presidency is taken over, you go through a mill. You ask any past president, they will go rattle through everything. The COIL, we are dealing with 100 top business people. I mean, they are probably better than you also. I mean, better than me also. So, but we have to deal it, and we respect each other. We don't fight with each other, right? So, what happened that day? Few things I like to say is, if we have conducted ourselves professionally, we would have been much better, because the COIL got 2 letters. I mean, when we are becoming a member, if we are doubted that our constitution requirement is not there, or article requirement is not there, that can be raised at a board meeting, not in front of everybody, right? So we were sent the first letter to nominate, and in that very clearly say, as long as you meet the criteria. So when it was sent, we sent our nominee during looking at the whole thing. We as an establishment, we read. I'm speaking now on behalf of COIL, right? COIL, we read it. We have a secretary general, we have a procedure, we have a legal team, they look at it and they write. Right? COIL also have about only 3 people working in COIL. Our establishment is very small. We don't have office in Colombo. We have office in Colombo, but we prioritize differently. They look at it, they reply. Then later, once again, they're asking from COIL, reconfirm. There is no necessity of reconfirming, because I have served this board for 4 years. Right? It's an insult for me being in the board. Secretary General. Right? Secretary General has no right to write.
No, he didn't inform. He didn't inform it, but I knew that the list had gone.
Yeah, so
Did he get the approval from the board?
What is the
Did he
use
get
of,
the approval from the board?
again asking for the reconfirmation?
That is what we have to
When
ask
you-
him
when
now.
you get that.
No.
We have to respect the membership.
Yeah.
Always.
So it's how I looked at it, it was an insult. Right? Because COIL,
Second letter.
right? Second letter, because the thing is, we all know COIL will never carry 250. I mean, we have had last
It is
20,
exceeded from your perspective.
yeah, last 23 years, we don't allow. I mean, when you come to 100, we block. Next 25, we don't want to take. That's our policy, right? We don't even go to 125 maximum.
That of course Aditya told me earlier, but why is
Yeah.
exempted from this? Because
Yeah, but
but
surely that
I
was
don't know,
written
it's
to.
one anyway, but I think even our article
Oh,
says if
okay.
your, if by your
Yeah, yeah.
articles, if
So there,
membership is
sure.
restricted, don't show.
So surely that letter was copied to you, right? And no, it letter was copied to you, because I right. And please read whatever you have been copied to, right? Because it was copied to you. All letters were copied to you and Kirti. But none of you all credit, none of you all said this is not necessary, and this was not a board decision.
I
Right.
think I asked, I think I regarding the file letter, then, because he said he sent all these letter to all, I asked him, because I know that file is doesn't apply to file that I had known earlier on. So it is in the
Surely.
constitution. Then he said it was sent to.
No, you don't do that. You don't do that. First, before you send anything, you table it at the board. We want to write, right? We want to write this. Is it okay? If not, I can tell you, I am open about this. I know some of the board members don't fall into category of most of these. It doesn't matter, right? If people are contributing and they have the time to contribute, we consider that also as credit, right? We can have people who has 500 members and come and sit here and do nothing, right? That's not what we want. We want people who will contribute, right? At the meeting also, I think he sent a proposal saying, let this board carry on for next 3 months because the AGM will be there within 3 months. You didn't respond. Nobody responded. And it was completely tarnished. I mean, and when he read the names, also COIL name was not read at the meeting also. In the minutes, it will be said, Indunil got up and said, sorry, COIL name is not there. We have put the application. So these are not in the purview of a Secretary General of Federation. Right? I'm not against it. Sarath is there, Sarath can think. Right? If he is calling for it, it's his duty to come to the board and say, look, these people are not qualifying for this. What do we do? Right? Then we can talk to individual. Say, if I'm not qualified, fine, talk to me individually and say, look, I think it's not right by this. Right? So that, I think, surely, that was an absolute failure, and that was not a right done thing. Right? I mean, COIL's outlook of it was, let's move out of this. And when COIL said COIL, CNCI and a few others wanted to move out. Right? We had about 5 people who want to move out of this at that moment. I said that's not the right thing to do, because even at Ceylon Chamber, you would recognize COIL is more recognized than Federation. That is wrong. Right? Federation must give that standing. Why Federation is not giving? Because none of us want to represent Federation, so we are scared, because whether we'll get scolded or whether when we speak up, the person is cut. Right? This same practice happened. Tusit is not there. This he will minute it. Right? I am not shy or anything. I don't want to have a meeting and have arguments. That's why I said I will speak on my own, and I'm happy that Sarath is there. He will confirm if I'm saying something wrong, because he has been a past president, and his time we had a lot of difficulties and we lifted it up. So one thing is, when we go into a board AGM, we don't insult anybody. And I was also disappointed that what happened to Tusit's organization, not knowing, and that was a letter which was written to somebody else, and that figure coming in. I will leave that to be spoken by Tusita, but that was very, very ugly. Right? Absolutely ugly. That insults the whole board. Right? I don't know how many of you all will take that as insult. I take that as insult because we sit in this board. We are responsible. Right? When we go and insult one of our own directors in front of the general council, it's not right. We should be able to tell Tusit, you're not fitting in. This doesn't work. We are going by this. Please move out. He should be able to tell openly to Tusit. Tusit will say, thank you. Yes, I agree with you. I'm moving out. Or we can say board makes a decision. Look, we don't want the constitution need to be changed. Earlier when we did this, only few chambers. Today there are so many chambers. With this COVID, we can't have these people paying the money. All that, we can make policies within the board and make an understanding and go and say, okay, we have made this policy for these 2 years purely on the COVID and national financial issues. Now it's a national issue, earlier COVID issue, right? So that's what it is. Now, when we ask the accounts and your filing of your reports, right? First, we must file our reports. Right? When you ask from COIL, please make sure you all have done it and asking us, because we do it every year, and Federation. No, so no, is it
That's mandatory.
mandatory?
Because I think Ajit is correct there. Ajit is very correct because you're supposed to, show your, because according to the constitution,
That is
you got
constitution.
to, if you are legally, right, entities there, you got to have your AGMs, you got to file your returns, right? That is a protocol, that is the.
They don't
Yeah.
can do.
No,
it's a
no, so
That-
I think I have
Wait,
no
shall-
problem
wait,
at all.
Susi, can I finish?
Yeah, sorry.
Right. So,
They're not clear what.
no, wait. Ajit, when Ajit says a chamber, functional chamber, which according to the article, it's good standing of a chamber of number, whatever, 250 and above, or below so much on your constitution, right? In good standing means filing your reports, doing your accounts, doing your auditing, and having the right way of board meetings and AGMs and conduct. Am I right? That's what the company's access of a good. So even we have failed to do so. So when we write something, surely we must know what we are writing to members. We have to be very tactful because we are long behind paying ETF, EPF accounts, auditing, so many things. We delayed salaries. We have had failures. So whatever, end of the day, don't say Ajit wrote. Chair is responsible. Chair should be able to say, sorry, Ajit, you can't do this, right? Or you can refer to the company secretary and ask, is this the right way to do? Or you can ask some senior people who knows about this thing. You can always, I mean, whenever we have asked, if you call Sarath and Nazi, I have a problem like this, Sarath's relationship with Ajit and all that is good, he can say, no, don't do this, right? This is wrong. I mean, that's why we have associated, right? So that part, I think, absolutely wrong. So that we need to make sure as we don't get letter of demands, insult from other chambers, etc. Federation is supposed to be about all supreme. We are apparently supposed to be better than Ceylon chamber also, apex body, and we are recognized by the ministries internationally, SAC, donors, everything. So surely you are sitting on something which is very important, even though you may not think it's so important, and all our board members are sitting on one.
Only chamber covered entire
Sri Lanka. Ceylon chamber has few things. So when we sit on this position, please learn what our importance and where we are and how we are, right? So legal part. So then the other thing is, before I speak about others, I think you need to declare the multiple levels of authorities, right? Because there are so many malpractice which is happening here, which has come to me and Kirti. With Kirti may have told you, may have not told you. There's a lot of malpractices happening. So you need to sit down and put a team to discuss. Either Kirti, Sarath is a senior person, and yourself, right? Or I don't know, because he has a different view. Yeah, so I think Kirti and maybe Kirti and Ajit, Kirti and Ajit and Mr. Kahapalarchi may be good team to put to discuss and resolve this problem so that we have harmony and respect to each other, right? That's how I see it. Sarath, if I'm wrong, you can correct me, yeah? Because it's not. And the other thing, even though Gopalan and me, we have had fights. No, I scold him sometimes. He's wrong. That is wrong. But I must say, whenever we go in front of anybody, we don't insult a human being saying, I'm not gathering. I from the chair, I'm asking, Coil, forget it. I can handle Coil. From the chair, please send him a letter saying that whatever happens, we apologize. And to
We cannot hear you, Rohit. We cannot hear you, Rohit.
I mean, all of us were there. If anybody says it was not an insult to him,
appointed as a company secretary. Right?
Sorry,
You
but-
can't bring some is written to somebody else and in front of everybody you can't vote. I think people. I think honest.
Your voice is breaking, Rohit. We cannot hear you well.
මේ කපෝ ගියාව කියන එක දෙන්න පොඩ්ඩක්.
Make color. Right. Okay, so saying we are in reality we have not paid his fee. I mean, he would have said, like the auditor, he would have said, sorry, I'm not coming, I have not paid my fee. Like, coming, he always came for all the meetings, which or whatever, when it's not being paid. So he did his job right. Non-related documents and throw it at a member. So he can probably take it after I finish my this thing, but I am, in my opinion, also I would say, he should, that shouldn't.
We cannot hear you, Rohit, well, because all are breaking.
Actually,
හරි හරි මේකෙන් එනවා.
again, stop off content.
ආ. ඒක off කරන්න. Okay, okay.
Surely your one is okay. The other Rohita, what is equipment he is using, we cannot hear. All disconnected, no? Surely you're using a laptop? Surely you have to unmute.
Hello.
Shirley, you have to unmute and speak. Yes.
Keith, you can hear me, no?
Yeah, now can. Yes.
All right. Okay. So basically what I was saying that this meeting, what happened to Gopalan, I mean, Ajit getting up and saying Gopalan is not fit enough to be the company secretary. He want to remove it. Actually, that is not his decision. The such appointments are decided by the board of directors prior to the meeting. And in the event Ajit feels there is valid reasons that should be raised at the board meeting, and that board meeting we can give consideration to whatever Ajit says and select the person accordingly. I
Yeah.
mean, because he's the CEO, we have to listen to him, but we should not insult people at that level, because the reason is he has also, Gopalan has come for our meetings whilst he was not paid.
Correct.
He never refused. Our auditors refused to come. At the same thing, I felt Tusita's one also was not right, bringing a letter which was referred to food program, UN food program, and saying, challenging on that, not reading the constitution or not asking at a board meeting. I mean, those are not public, should not be public in front of a general assembly, because that's not right. So that's something what I felt. The other thing is what I felt is there are a lot of malpractice here. We need to see how federation is going to work. Are we going to work 8 to 5, or we are going to work from home? If you're going to work from home, we don't need to pay such a big building a rent. We either close it and everybody works from home, or we should know as a federation who is going to work, what time to what time, because all our organizations are now working, right? Federation has not worked Monday to Friday for a long time. And either it's alternate days coming, we are paying salaries, we are paying the fuel, we are paying everything, but we don't see people coming to work. So that is something the chair and the board need to make sure that people are here, federation is operating, right? That's, I think we can't no longer go, because that's why a table file has, we have 3 people, we are running a much bigger volume of business, and still we are filing it. But it's shame that if anybody walks into federation, nobody is there in the morning. You come at 8:30 or 9 to federation, nobody is here. So that responsibility, chair, you need to ensure that it is been done. The other thing is, I like to say there are a lot of especially Ajit got very upset with me about that 10 million transaction, because I question about 10 million transaction. And to date, I have not seen the accounts of it. I hope before next AGM, 10 million came to federation and 10 million went out to an individual, right? So whatever the donation came to federation can't just go out without accounts. If Sarat says no, it's all right, I will take it, because he has been a past chairman. You can ask him, and I have been questioning this. Sorry to say, none of you all have.
Kirti and myself had a meeting with the
I'm not interested about the owner. Legal implication as a director, we have implication and obligation that money is not being misused. It came, Ajit transferred to the guy, he sent our account, 10 million is transferred. To date, we don't have an account to say whether we have, how many TVs we have purchased, what are our bills, nothing. 10 million came, 10 million transferred. That is called black money to white for a election campaign. So in one day, if the CID inquires, I indemnify myself at this board meeting that I am not responsible for that whatsoever, because I have tabled this for the second time. When I tabled this for the first time, Ajit got very angry with me. You remember, he asked me,
Gone. What we got?
Nothing.
Why?
So that's the chair need to answer. That's why I'm identifying myself, because we cannot. You all can talk to anybody, whether it's Kirti. I mean, Kirti is my good friend, but legally you all have no right. It's a board decision.
No right.
You all have no right, right? In my this thing, it's black and white money transferred to election campaign, and he showed the picture saying 1 TV, this thing. The man who questioned was not even invited for the function. Right, man who was invited, I mean, I question, and today minimum they say, okay, we did 10 million worth of work by him, accounts for that.
But Rohit, I'm not agree with you on that, because what happens,
Yeah.
we don't know exactly whether he had given all those equipment or not. But however it is, he had given a list of equipment. He had given the places where he's going to purchase. All that was given, and on
Yeah,
that
but
basis
that is,
only we have actually the Ajit has sent a mail. The board, some members has commented, some members has not commented. But however it is, they have given. But of course, I can remember that he sent a mail asking people to join for that donation. I could not go on that particular day. I had another event.
I was never invited for that. I was only I was sent the pictures of it.
Yeah.
Whatever the donation, what I like to see, even what we were told they were buying some TVs and few things for the hospital. What
No,
I
no.
like to see, what did they buy? What is the accounts for that? Now, even when we do Norwegian, like we are already facing a problem with Norwegian, but
That we will, of course, we will ask them to give a list of items what they have donated.
and costing and the bills for it.
Surely the
They
hospital
should
would
have.
have signed and given a document. No.
Yeah, so ask them to give that, then we can get that clarified independent.
How we showed in the accounts?
How he has not showed in accounts either. He has just
How in our accounts, how does it reflect?
no. That's why we are waiting for final accounts. So we haven't got the final accounts yet.
They have actually, the request came. They want to do this project. So this was a donation to the this what do you call the hospital in Kotikawata.
Yeah, IDH. But
IDH.
IDH hospital, that
Yeah.
picture,
Yeah.
I saw the picture newspaper article. In my opinion, there is really nothing in it. Basically, you are showing few TVs. I don't know. I have not seen it. I don't know. But I like to see the accounts. That's all. I don't. I know
ask
this
them,
gentleman
of course,
personally. I know
if
his wife. We are family friends. But I know him and Abbas know him. So we know him better than most of you. I have like they used to live. They are near Independence Square. So I know them. What is campaign money? How the campaign money came? All that I know. This happened high the time of election. And time of election, there was a law that you cannot do this.
I
Right.
told, and it was minuted also in the meeting itself, because we should not undertake such things. If we have
Yes,
no
that I know.
interest
That
in
I
that
know.
kind of a project, we should not get involved in those projects. So that's what we have to decide in future.
Yeah.
Because if we have
Yeah.
no interest to the federation, so why are we getting involved in that? That's the now that it has
Correct.
gone and process halfway, and equipment, they are waiting till we raise the checks to give it to people. So that became very actually we called him to the federation. He came for a meeting. Shirley, myself, Ladeepan, and few other people were there. So then he explained how he's doing it and all that. But I don't know how much it's true. But of course, there is only way we can ask is to produce some document which he has given to the given this donation, and with the hospital authority signing for that. So that's all. That's
Yeah,
the
so-
only thing that we can ask.
Yeah, Keith, that I remember you telling that they don't do it, but these all happen without board approval. And I know at that meeting you said that the day I questioned this only, Ajit got very angry with me. And from that point only, he was attacking me, because I think I am not for this kind of things. I respect you that you took the time. I know all that. But what I'm saying is we still need to get this clarified. We need to make sure that we have the proper accounts for this. Because later, we don't want somebody coming after 5-10 years, coming to our house and say, you all have approved this, how have you approved it? Right, so that is something which I am concerning. There are other related matters as well. So in my thinking,
We will take that separately, Rohit. Almost about hour gone now.
Yeah.
I think so. We'll take all the concerns, and surely you take steps to correct it. What has to be checked with different parties check, and we'll come back.
And Ajit to sit and go through all this, and you all can get an explanation and then come to the board and say. Yeah. So otherwise, it will avoid lot of misunderstanding.
I think it's better,
I
right?
also agree with Rohit 100%. It was a big insult to many people at the last AGM, so which is not at all good.
And clear it and before you present the board.
I would like to propose not only that financial issue, the article, there has been a lot of issues from that day to have the article committee, that is in the parliament, we have a constitution committee. Like that, when we can call him, because we have to get advice from him,
Yeah.
how our article we should follow. That is our main.
So I think I have put some points and I have shared, like I can share with all of you because we have to, all of us, during his time, we brought up this and unfortunately then it didn't change because there are a lot of things which is wrong in these articles, right? And like whether we want to say 250, fine by me, because
Sorry, we should remove that.
no, we can, we, Oh.
පාස් කරේ ඇත්තටම අපිට ඕන වුණා මේ chambers develop කරන්න 100 කියලා develop කරන්න ඉතින් කරන්න නිසා කාටවත් harm කරන්නවත් කාවත් මේවා කරන්න නෙවෙයි. දැන් මේ board එකට design ගන්න පුළුවන්. අපිට අවශ්‍ය නැත්නම් 250 ඒක open. මේක මේ board එක ඕනදාලා change කරන්න පුළුවන්.
yeah, I must also table one more thing. The same thing what happened to Tusita happened to one of our previous Sarat's year to Ruan's second year. That guy who was doing gem and jewelry guy, he used to participate, right? There was some tiff between Ajit and him. He was not sent the letter asking for nomination, and then he wrote to us asking the explanation, but he didn't explain. I must highlight that this is not the first time this kind of thing happening. This is the second time it has happened. So at the board level, we need to make respectful decisions. We don't have to, put aside of Ajit and say, just that's not the attitude should be. He is very valuable. Ajit is a very capable person. For some reason, things are not right. Right?
ඒක තමයි ඇත්තටම මම ආවේ මට අවුරුදු 11කට තිස්සේ හැමදාම board meeting එකේ මේ issues එනවා. ඇත්තටම අපි membership එක අපිව මෙතනට board එකට පත් කරන්නේ අපි membership එකට අවශ්‍ය කරන දේ කරන්නනේ. දැන් අපේ regional chambers අහන්නේ දැන් මේ federation එකේ අපිට මොකද වෙන්නේ? අපිට renew කරන්න කියනවා. renew කරන්න අපිට හරි අමාරුවෙන් අපි දුවන්නේ. මේ chambers කොළඹ base ඒවා වගේ නෙවෙයි.
Sure. Yeah, accepted.
අඩුගානේ සැලරි ගෙවා ගන්නත් බෑ. සිද්ධ කරගන්න රයිට් එකක් ගෙවා ගන්න බෑ. එහෙම තියෙද්දි ඒගොල්ලෝ බොහොම අමාරු මේකට ඉන්නේ. දැන් පොළදී ඉපන් මේ මාතරින් ඉන්නේ කියලා ඉන්නේ හරිම අමාරුයි. දැන් මට යන්නේ මෙතන ඉඳන් පාවුදුනේ ඉඳන් පැය එන්නේ. ඔබතුමාට යන්නේ පැය භාගයක්. නේද? දුරේ යන්නේ මොකද ටික සාරෙන් දැන් ටික දැන් අනිත් අයට ඔයා ඉන්නේ ගාල්නේ. මේ කාලයයි ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ සල්ලි හරි වටිනවා. ඒ විශ්ව දැන් මේ වෙලාවේ ડોක්ටර් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ මුළු ලංකාව ගිනි අරගෙන තියෙන්නේ.
ඔව්.
යාගේ දීර්ඝ අපි මෙතනට ඇවිල්ලා අපේ කාඩ් කාදම කෑ ගහ
No use.
මේ කියපු දේවල් එකමයි කරගෙන. මොකද අජිත්ගේ ගොඩක් එදා හැන්ඩල් කරපු AGM එක ගොඩක් කේන්ති ගියා. කුලදීපන් දෙකක් මම ගොඩක් ආගියු කරා. නමුත් ඒක නෙවෙයි වෙන්න ඕනේ. අපි හැම මිනිහටම රෙස්පෙක්ට් කරන්න ඕනේ. කිසිසේත් එක දෙකට අපොලොජයිස් කරන්න ඕනේ. අපි අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ඒකට හොඳ නැහැ. ඒක හොඳ නැහැ. එහෙම අපේ බෝඩ් එකේ ඩිරෙක්ටර් කෙනෙක් ඉඳලා එතනට ගිහිල්ලා අපි ඒ විදිහට යාව ඩවුන් කරනවා නම් ඒක හොඳ නැහැ. ඔය හැබැයි ගෝපාලන්ගේ පස්සේ ඉෂුස් එකක් ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. මම ඕනනම් ඔයාලට දැන් ඉන්න ඩිරෙක්ටර් ජෙනරල් සෙක්‍රටරි ඩිරෙක්ටර් ජෙනරල් රෙජිස්ටර් ඔෆ් කම්පැනිස් දැන් අරන් දෙන්නම් මේකට. ඔයාගේ මේක වැරදි. අපේ ආටිකල් එක තියෙන්නේ ආටිකල් එකක් අපි කම්පැනියක් හදන්න මොකද කරන්නේ ආටිකල් එකක් අපි හදලා රෙජිස්ටර් ඔෆ් කම්පැනිස් යවනවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ කම්පැනි ලෝයක අනුව අපේ ආටිකල් එක හරිද කියලා. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ අප්‍රූව් කරලා එවන්නේ අපේ ආටිකල් එක හරියි. අපේ ආටිකල් එකේ නැති දෙයක් මොනවා හරි සයිලන්ට් නම් අපේ ආටිකල් එකේ ඒක නැත්නම් අන්න එතකොට රෙජිස්ටර් ඔෆ් කම්පැනිස් වල තියෙන කම්පැනි ලෝ එක ඇප්ලයි වෙනවා. ඔබතුමා එදා කිව්වේ එහෙම නෙවෙයි. එහෙම නෙවෙයි කිව්වේ. එහෙම නෙවෙයි. ඒ තමයි ආගු කරන්නේ මාත්‍රක තාක්ෂණ කරන්න හේතු උනේ ඕක තමයි ප්‍රශ්නේ. මම ස්ටෑන්ඩ් කරන්නේ කාගත් නෙවෙයි. මම ස්ටෑන්ඩ් කරන්නේ මගේ චේම්බර් එකේ ඉන්නේ. ඒ වගේම බෝඩ් එක වෙන්නේ. බෝඩ් එක අදීනම් මම වැඩි කල් ඉන්නේ නැහැ. මට අවශ්‍යතාවයක් නැහැ මෙතන ඉන්න. මම මේක රයිට් කරපුවම අයින් වෙනවා. මම ප්‍රොෆෙෂනල් වෙලා ඉඳලා. නැවත මෙතන දෙන එක හොඳ නැහැ. මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ගිහිල්ලා වාරිමුත් එක වඩනවා වගේ වැඩක් නේ. මේක හරි නැහැ. ඇත්තටම ආවේ ඕගලන්ට එක එකතු වෙලා මේක නැවත රයිට් පාක් එකට දාලා මම අයින් වෙනවා. يعني ඉන්නේ ටයිම් එක මට ඉන්න හොඳ නැහැ. නමුත් මගෙන් ආපු මෙම්බර් එච්චර කතා කරේ නැහැ මෙතනදී. ඒක තමයි මට ඉතින් ඒක උනේ. මම හිතනවාට කියනවා ඊළ කතා කරන්න කවුරුත් එක එකනා මේ හැම කෙනාගේම වෙස්ටිජ් එකක් තියෙනවා. එතනට එන්නේ මේ අපි හැමෝම හොඳ බිස්නස් කරනවානේ. කවුරුත් නිකන් ඉඳන්නේ නෙවෙයි. නමුත් අපි හැම බිස්නස් එකක්ම දැන් very bad affected කාටවත් පොදු උසහාන දෙකකට පත් වෙයි. ඒක අපි මෙතන තැවිලා කෑ ගහලා රට කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ මම හිතන්නේ ෂර්ට් එකේ පාර්ට් එකේදී ගොඩක් ලැප්ටොප්ස් වගේ තියෙනවා. ඔයා මේ ඔෆිෂල් සහ සෙක්‍රටරි ජෙනරල් හැන්ඩ්කර්නේ හැන්ඩ්කර්න එකේ පොදු ඉෂුස් වගේ කාපු තමයි මෙතෙන්ට අපි පත් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒකට ඒ ප්‍රතිජෙනරල් කොටසක් තියෙන විදිහ කරන්න. අපි ආව අපොයින්ට් කරලා තියෙන්නේ මේ මෙම්බර්ෂිප් එක සහ ඩිරෙක්ටර් බෝඩ් එකට අවශ්‍ය කරන දේ කරගන්න. ඒකට දැන් එක කාලෙක ඉඳන් මේ බෝඩ් එකයි සෙක්‍රටරි ජෙනරල්ට ලොකු ෆයිට් එකක් කරනවා. ඒක වහම නවත්තන්න ඕනේ. ඒක නෙමෙයි අපි කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒකමාගේ පාර්ට් එකක් තියෙනවා. එදින්ම කියන්න ඕනේ මෙන්න මේකයි අපේ ආටිකල් එකේ තියෙන මේක. ඒක කෙලින්ම කියන්න ඕනේ. කෙලින්ම කියන්න. උනාට සමහරලාට ඔබතුමා කියලා දෙනවා මම බලනවා.
කහපලාට
ඔබතුමා දන්න පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක්. මෙන්න එක හේතුව.
මට දැන් ටික ටික තේරෙනවා.
හේතුව අපි අත්ත කතා කරනකොට ඒක තමයි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. මොකද අපි කවදාකවත් actually is it okay if I interrupt you? Can I go ahead? Yeah, I think you've got to understand we also recognize we sit in boards, many boards. We come here to represent our organization like we're right in the novel said, of course, because we are spending our time. Because there are places whom they really wanted us. And the little time that I spend here, right, I think, I'm sure I contributed my part. I have pointed out many things, and I have been one person who have been questioning always because the clarity, the honesty, transparency has to be there in your organization. And I'm sure even Mr. Alavath, you can remember how much I spoke in each and every AGM when the accounts are not in order. For the past 6 years, I've been talking. But thank God, some sanity brought into the organization when Mr. Rohan Nidhir Singh's time. At least that's the only time we.
My time.
Your time you started.
Yes.
Your time you started exactly because when before your time it was A4 paper. I
Yes.
still have it with me. If anybody question, I say this is the state of this organization. A4 paper they gave accounts, and Kirti was there. Kirti and myself, of course, we were so vociferous. We spoke so much about it, right? So we put all those things in right and here, little time we spend. But then this is very personal. It should never be personal. If you do
It has got to be personal.
yeah, why do you want to be
Yeah,
personal?
non-personal.
And because I don't have any issue with any SG, right? And his position, we respect what his position is, right? But same way, he should respect others also. Now this one, now you are telling, and only 4 nominations that you have received. And so so if he's the custodian of this articles upon the constitution, which I'm going to say, of course, you don't come and sit here, of course, without reading the articles. Each and every page has been gone through. These are all highlighted. These are all marked. Anybody want to question me, I have all the answers. That's why we come prepared for AGMs, right? AGMs or for board meetings, right? Actually, he has no right here. This is very clear in the articles. If he's challenging me, I challenge him tomorrow and say there's no right. And has he fulfilled his duties? And just read this here. And in the AGM, I think, Madam President, I think I feel very sorry for you. I'm so sorry that we are putting a lot of pressure on you. But actually, very rightly,
No, it's okay.
everyone.
I fight it. Yeah, I took the
Actually, we try to give you this message for a very long time. I think it seems because as a being a lady, we also been pushed so much. I think we ought to be blamed as well. Because I think, in fact, you also have not gone through this constitution properly and understood what it is. Right? I mean, that is why people are dictating. People are dictating and you get carried away. I think should not, because what happened? I'll be here today or tomorrow. I don't care. I can leave tomorrow even, right? If the board doesn't want me, I don't want to be here. There are enough and more places we are really needed, right? But only thing is like, so you got to understand, right? These things should be properly checked, right? And when he's talking and bringing this up, and what is that, a mockery, in front of public gathering, right? At AGM, right? See how unfortunate, how uncalled that is. That shouldn't have happened, no. Right? But what is he getting by insulting a director? Nothing. And we are an organization, very honorable organization, for 30 odd years or 48 years of history, right? We have our articles. How can we make allegations without reading articles? And why did you all make Sri Lanka Food Processors Association a member if you are not comply the articles? First thing is that. So that little thing, I think, first of all, I prefer to talk in front of Ajit. Sadly, that he's not around here because I'm not a guy who blow my trumpet behind anyone. I'm a man, I've talked to anybody face to face, right? I don't believe in anything. And I've been spoken also in front of him, and that is why he's angry with me. That's fine with me. I'm not going to take anything from him. I don't need anything. All what I need when I'm as a director, when I sit, I'll contribute. And no one can stop that. The day the board decided I should not be there, I'm gone. That just like that, right? So very clearly, I mean, this was what, and he should read and prepare himself before he making allegations. So what I see is he's not fit. Actually, sad, right? First thing, he's not fit to be there anyway. If he's going to handle this position, honestly, right? I think please reconsider that, because y'all are going to have a lot of issues in the future if he's going to continue in this manner, right? Because I mean, see, if you conduct, actually, what I'm saying is this AGM is null and void, right? If I bring it at the next AGM and say this is null and void, I'll prove with my lawyers anyway why this is null and void, right? Because you have not followed the constitutional rights or the constitution to conduct that AGM. And see the previously, right? You all want to have the AGM, right? You all didn't know that you had to give 14 days notice anyway to the members, right? Have you all done that? So that when I brought it up, only you have to postpone it again. If that happened at that day, what will happen? If someone questioned and said, of course, there was no board meeting, you're spending money and all that. Madam President, what am I request to you, right? The AGM should be conducted by the company secretary. He is authority and he knows what to, because that's, if he can't do, of course, it's different, then you have to change it, right? The Secretary General, he has no right. Even the nomination should be called, right, by the company secretary through the president, right? All the nominations should come through the president and to the secretary, right? And he table at the board meeting, board ratifies and put an AGM and get the ratification from the AGM. That is how it's been done. Any organization, I don't know how it works here.
No, that's same thing. Same thing. So Sarath is acknowledging that. I'm happy that Sarath is here.
Thank you. I'm so grateful that you are around. At least you understand. So I think
You have to consider.
Yeah.
What has happened is in one AGM at I think Hotel Renuka, Mr.
Kosala.
Kosala, he project. We call this thing, we nomination, we get the same thing done by us. So at that meeting, he protested. So in our article, it was there. So all council meeting should be called by secretary.
No, it says, I went through that column. It says the chair will ask Secretary General to call the meeting. Right?
Yes.
Right? And in between, it is not written
Yes.
the process. Actually, it's the Company Act covers that the company secretary must call. So when you tell the Secretary General, now if I tell in my office, my secretary call for a meeting, and that's her duty to type the mail and send it to my staff to call for the meeting. Right? That process didn't happen. So Secretary General must say, okay, we are calling for a meeting. Company secretary, please give us instruction and follow these. Please send us a list of procedures to follow. So what happens is there is an ego over to see the word custodian and anger coming from Ruwan Nidrisingha's time to this year, and when we question getting anger. So I think that we all know all this is now. Say example, I'll give you. He has written a letter to Secretary General and Chairman of SAC, scolding. I mean, he cannot write a letter of that nature. He need to get the board approval. I don't think it's copied to you. I don't think you even read that letter, right? You don't accuse. I mean, internationally, right? What happened? First, when he had the first funded program, right? He didn't want to invite me and Ruwan Nidrisingha and Maki Hashim, right? But the money is coming from SAC on a different name. The second one was happening. And then I said, look, this is how these guys are treating. This is not on, cancel, right? So then it happened, right? So now I think I have brought a proposal that we will support funding programs. We will bring the, when you came in, I said, I will bring in 6,000 euro funding, but none of you all were interested getting from me other than putting us down, right? That's how I look at it. So no. The thing is, when to sit as a chair when Sarath was seated, right? When I go and tell Sarath, right? He asked me to take care of accounts. Am I right, sir? I went and said, this way we can't finalize this account. We have to write off some amount. So I went, sat with him. He called a meeting. We meet once a week in the SAC FCCISL office, right? We went, agreed upon. Then we called a board meeting, told the board, this is what we are going to write off. Then we went to EC, written off, started accounts. We never had accounts. That's the first time we started doing accounts, right? So you as a chair need to take 6 years, there was no account. We had to write it off. You remember some we can't find, no stocks, nothing. But and another thing is why I say malpractice says or he doesn't want it until 300,000 is being paid. But we are paying the auditor for our programs and he's getting a salary for our programs, right? And going out. Actually, these are malpractices. Right now, say SAC is giving some money, there should be some duty to invite me, Ruwan Nidhar Singh as the immediate past person and whatever the others. Now, BIMSTEC, right? I think you're heading it, right? Right? So nobody's been appointed as at now, whether he's going, whether he's been told to go, Indian Prime Minister is coming for BIMSTEC meeting, right? So I don't know whether where Federation is. Federation has a seat. Actually, Federation did a mistake. Otherwise, we would have taken the chair. Ceylon Chamber took the chair, right? So we don't know where it is.
No,
Right?
they want me and I'm out of the country.
Yeah, I think
He's the man. No,
Yeah, I know.
So
Then I told, I think just now, Fatima came and talked to you about that.
22nd, he said that there's a party coming over here.
yeah, so that's actually you need to know what is happening in the country, what is happening, where the federation stand. So I want to, I mean, even though we take time today, I think it's good that we took this time so that we can resolve. So example, myself and Ruwan was appointed into his board, right? Then we moved out, again reappointed into his board, right? But to date, we have not gone for last 3 years to his board, right? Yeah. So we have not gone into that. No, this is for Colombo Chamber. So we have not gone in. We have not been invited by him. These are the things which the secretary should say at the meeting. Look, Colombo Chamber, these 2 people are appointed. What is happening? They have not been invited. Now, I was appointed to SLS. Not that I want the appointment. If somebody feels, okay, this person I don't want to send somebody from us. Give us federation some opportunity to somebody. Right? The document was not sent. When I asked, when they spoke to me on some other matter privately, right? Then I said, I'm supposed to be appointed there. Then they looked at it and said, then I spoke to Jeevani. Jeevani said, document never went out. It's at Ajit's table.
I participated in my time.
Yeah. So finally, it never went. Later it went, right? Today, it never called for a meeting. So these are opportunities lost for federation, right? I'm not saying it should be Rohit Silva. Can appoint to see or any, it doesn't matter, somebody, right? Any director, give opportunity. I'm not asking for the opportunity. Give to everybody, even easy member, opportunity of this, not lose it, because earlier federation had so many seats. We had so many director posts and so many places. What do we have now? About 3 or 4.
Now, what we understand is this trial going on. So it should stop.
I
We can't
agree
move
with
forward.
Rohit
So
on
the
that.
chair has to be strong and making decisions. Look, this cannot happen, so and so must go. When you get a letter is not given to you. That's bad. Because earlier, Sarath will come and Sarath will tell all the strategy people, these 5 people, please come. We are given a time, we go and spend time with him and we speak to him and he will come. I mean, you have
Committees were very powerful and they were-
yeah, and we made the decision. He didn't ask anything. Secretary General was taking notes and he was writing minutes. Not we were writing minutes. Now we are being asked to write minutes. Right? We were not writing minutes. His time, the minutes were written by Ajit. He will send the minutes within 2 days. So now we have to type according to him our own minutes and send it to him to publish. So that is also wrong. Get this corrected. The other thing is 2 years. Right? Forget Rohit Silva. Right? There was no strategy committee chairman appointed. 2 years. Why? Because
I think Puladeepan was appointed and
no. Puladeepan asked me. I gave the opportunity. Actually, Ajit also spoke to. I gave my opportunity to Puladeepan. I said Puladeepan need to learn, right? What it is. I mean, it's not who is holding the position. We have to teach him how to become a chairman, Then Kuladeepan said, I have some problems. Can you take it? I said, all right, if that is the case. Then after this 10 million question happened, from that date, that's the day actually we were in some basement having a meeting, I think Miraj, right? That's the day I questioned about 10 million and he said to give it to Rohit, right? From that time to now, it's still with the chair. In my opinion,
That was of
no,
course.
Shirley, let me finish. It doesn't matter. In our constitution, we say we are appointing 3 people. Forget Rohit Silva. It's your prime duty as the chair to appoint somebody.
No, that decision was taken with you, myself, and he didn't want to. We said we were discussing about it. Now,
He can't actually make a decision.
No, no.
How can he make a decision?
No.
He said, this is the meeting and Keerti said, actually Keerti was thinking now, Kuladeepan was a chano, was stepper, so it will come down on him if you give it to another person. So why don't you take it?
He's the one who.
No. Before that only we took.
No, Shirley, let me correct it. I was appointed.
I personally asked for approval also.
I was, Shirley, you,
I informed you that same day.
no.
That same day I informed you also. I like to appoint.
No, the
Dr.
thing-
No point
so-
arguing.
no.
Once more now, so next year, let's see.
No, it's like this. It is wrong on the chair to do that. For 2 years hanging on to a position which has lot of strategies, a very important thing, right? If strategies, I mean, how many strategies we have physical meetings we have had? What have you done in strategies? We have a strategy meeting a few hours before or one day before on Zoom and we talk something and we don't want to talk about it. When at a board meeting, when the VP, Vice President says, okay, he has a difficulty. I'm requesting Dr. Rohit Silva to take over. Wait, let me, no. It was given to me. I'm the one who proposed for training. Let me finish, Shirley. For me, 3 of you can't make a decision either. I'm much senior to him. No. You have no right to make that decision. When
No, it was happened at chairman's meeting.
it can happen on the chairman's
No, it's
meeting.
not- It's not a proper to say that we 3 of us took a decision.
Yeah.
But it was discussed and.
No, but still that decision.
So you are requested me to take it because.
No, we never requested. We
let me
objected.
correct, let me correct.
We objected to that.
No, let me correct. I think at that time.
Ajit was refusing. That's all. We know.
He was not there. He was not there.
He was not there.
Oh,
I don't know. Whether it happened.
No, I know what happened. That
that
day
was
after
I
that
can
10
say.
million, this came up. 10 million day only, he said, at the basement, 10 million day, Shirley, he said, for you all to recover from Ajit and keep Ajit calm. That's what happened. In my opinion, we brought this up at the board. Board also spoke about give it to so-and-so or somebody. You all never listened to it. 2 years, you all have failed to do so. 2 years. You have no right to keep it because constitution.
No, chairman can want, if the chairman
No,
wants
so-
to want to chair a meeting.
Right. Okay. Chairman wants to keep it. That's all
I
right.
don't want that.
No, chairman didn't do anything.
No,
No, you didn't do anything. You just hugged to it and waited. That's
No,
all.
I didn't do, I did not work
No,
for
no.
the federation.
No, President.
No.
President,
Nah,
මම
first-
ආවේ ඇත්තටම
ඒක කියන එක right. අවුරුදු දෙකම කොච්චර
President, give me a name.
I got the
Nah.
President, give me a
I got the money, all that. Don't say I didn't.
President, මම
I put the.
No. You never had a proper, no, you never had a proper meeting, strategy meeting. He's in the strategy committee. He was removed from the finance committee.
Don't insult me like
No. I'm telling you
I
the
have
fact.
not done anything to do it. I've done so much.
No, in our
I
opinion,
brought
strategy
the
meeting,
federation
you,
back from the
no. We are still struggling. We struggle to,
You would-
we haven't got the audited accounts for 2 years. So,
That will
yeah,
come.
we are waiting. You know.
Don't insult
No,
me.
I'm not insulting. I'm telling you the facts.
It's that's it.
Fact, because of you only what we had all these, we are having these issues. Surely we are having these issues because the chair is not making decisions. Very simple. You can ask Sarath, right?
President, මම ඇත්තටම අද ආව මීටින් එකට මේ ඇත්තටම ආවේ අජිත් ඉන්නෝනේ ඉඳලා මම ආවේ. අජිත් ඉස්සර කතා මම ඊපස්සේ කතා කරලා මට කැමති නැහැ. බලලා දන්නවා Zoom meeting එකේ නෝ අපිට ප්‍රශ්නයක් ආවා අජිත් එක මම අරගත්තා ප්‍රශ්න කිව්වා. ඇත්තටම මේ 10 million issue එක ගෙන වෙලාවේ මමයි ඔය කීර්ති කතා කරලා decision එකක් ගත්තා. එතකොට ඊට පස්සේ මම මොකද කිව්වේ ස්පෙෂලි කීර්ති තුවන්නේ බෝඩ් එකට දෙමු කියලා. බෝඩ් එකට දාලා කමු කියලා කතා කරා. ඊට පස්සේ කවදා පර්සනලි මට කෝල් කරා අජිත්. කෝල් කරලා දීපන් ඔයාට අවුලක්ද ඒක කියලා. මම කිව්වා මට අවුලක් වෙන්නේ කොහොමද? මේක ඔයානේ මේ මට මේක අගද්දන්න ඉතින් මොකද කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයා කිව්වා මේ කියනවා කියලා සඩන්ලි ඒක කිව්වා තමයි දන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ නිසා මම කරන්න මේ
ඊපස්සේ 2 weeks after මට කෝල් කරා. දීපන් අපි FCCISL එක මොනවා ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් කරා නම් හොඳයිද කියලා අහුවා. ඔයාලා ස්ට්‍රැටජි කමිටි එකේ ඉන්නේ. එහෙම කරා නම් හොඳයිද කියලා අහුවා. මම කිව්වා අවුලක් නැහැ. එහෙනම් අපි බෝඩ් එකට දානවනේ. බෝඩ් පේපර් දාලා බෝඩ් එකට දාලා අපි ඩිස්කස් කරලා බලමු ඕන නැහැ. නෑ. ඔයා මට පර්සනලි කියන්න කොච්චර අපි ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරා නම් කොච්චර ප්‍රොෆිට් එක ආවොත් හොඳයිද? ඒක කොච්චර අපි ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරා අපිට කොච්චර ප්‍රොෆිට් ආවොත් අපිට ඒක කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා මට පර්සනලි මගේ ඉස්සුමාට එක මේකේ මට ඩිස්කස් කරන්න බෑ. ඒක අපි බෝඩ් එකට දානවා. එහෙනම් දීපන් එක කතා කරනවා. මම එයාගේ ඉස්සරහ කියන්න ආවේ. කරපොළ ගොඩක් මගේ පිටුස ගොඩක් කතා කරනවා. මම එහෙම කැමති නෑ. මම එයාගේ ඉස්සරහ කතා කරනවා. අනික එදා මේ පාටියුමෙන් කතා කරලා ඊයකට එයා ඉන්ෆෝම් කරලා තිබුණා. කවුද චේම්බර් එන්නම් කියලා දීපි කියලා. නෝටිස් චේම්බර්ස් එකේ යක්නා වුමන් චේම්බර් අර අනිත් කෙනෙක් කවුරුත් එන්නේ නැහැ කියලා කිව්වා. පාටියුම මට කතා කරලා කිව්වා මේමයි වාගේ රියාගේ මේ වෙලා තියෙනවා. මේක පොඩ බලන්න. ඊට පස්සේ පර්සනලි මම හැමෝටම කෝල් එකක් දුන්නා නෑ එන්න ඕන අනිවාර්යෙන් එන්න කියලා. දැන් ගෙදර ආවට පස්සේ ගෙදරදී මට මේම චෝදනා ආවා ඒක ආවා. ඒක එයාලා ෆුල් අප්සෙට් මොකද? අපි ඉන්වයිට් කරලා එයාලා මොටිවේට් කරලා ගෙනාවට පස්සේ අපිටම චෝදනා එල්ල වෙනකොට එයාලා අප්සෙට් නේ. ඊට පස්සේ පර්සනලි ඒක ගියාම මම ගෲප් එකේ තියෙනවා මම පෙන්නන්න පුළුවන්. හරිද? ගෲප් එකේ එයාලා චෙක් කරා ගොඩක්. ඊට පස්සේ මම කිව්වා නෑ ඒකේම ගන්න එපා. මගේ වැරදි තියෙනවා. මම රපෝට් එක මීටින් එකට ගියේ නෑ. ඒක මගේ වැරදිනේ. ඒ නිසා ඒක කියපු තාල කරගන්න. එහෙම නෑ. මේක ෆෙඩරේෂන් කියන්නේ අපේ නම්බර්ලා යටතේ අපි ඉන්නේ. අනික අපේ චේම්බර්ස් එක ෆෝම් කරේ ෆෙඩරේෂන්. හරිද? දැන් තාම අපේ හැම මේ නොවේජින් දැන් අපි දැන් ඉස්සර දෙක ස්ට්‍රක්චර් කරලා ඔක්කොම හදාගෙන ඉන්නේ. ඒකෝට යාලා ඔක්කොම කරලා අපි මොකද ස්ට්‍රක්චර් කරනවා. IMF ෆෙඩරේෂන් එකට ඩිපෙන්ඩ් වෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා කිව්වා. ඒක කොහොමද පිටවල තනියෙන් යාලා කොහොමද අපිට තනියෙන් නෝටිස් එකක් ඔපන් කරන්න පුළුවන් නේ නෑ එක රටක එකයි ඉන්නේ ෆෙඩරේෂන් ෆොර් එක්සැම්පල් බලන්න ඉන්දියන් ෆෙඩරේෂන් ඉන්දියාවේ කොච්චර හොඳ චේම්බර්ස් තියෙනවද ඒ ඒලට පුළුවන් නේ තමිල්නාඩු විතරක් නෙමෙයි ඒක ඉන්දියාවේ එක ෆෙඩරේෂන් තියෙන එක කොහොමද කරලා ඔක්කොම එක ගෲප් එකේ තියෙනවා ඒක ඒම කරාට පස්සේ අනිත් කරපු වැඩේ මේ පාර නොමිනේෂන් දාපුවා පැටිකලෝ චේර්මන්ට කෝල් කරලා කිව්වා තියෙනවා මම නොමිනේෂන් කියලා ඒක නොමිනේෂන් දාන්නේ කියලා ප්‍රෙසිඩන්ට් පැටිකලෝ ප්‍රෙසිඩන්ට් මට කෝල් කරලා ඔව් සර් කමෙන්ට්ස් වල ඇවිල්ලා තිබ්බා. මෙඩිකල් නොමිනේෂන් වල තිබ්බා.
ඔය එකක් ගන්න බෑ කිව්වනේ අපි.
බෑ කියප එක දෙවිත් ප්‍රශ්න. එයා මොටිවේට් කරා. එයා දැන් අපි කොහොමද චේන් එක වැඩ කරනවා කියලා. එයා ඔක්කොම ඕකේ කියලා මට කෝල් කරා. මේමයි දීපන් මට දාන්න කිව්වා. මම දන්නේ නැහැ අලුත් CEO. එයාට කියලා මේවත් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා මේ මේක. කරන්න එපා කියන්නේ කියලා. එයා මෙඩිකල් එකට එයා කිව්වා මම නැගිටලා කියන්නේ අර කියලා. ඒ වුණාට ඒක අපේ දිනසෙක අපි එම ගියා. ඊට පස්සේ දැන් එයා අස්සමට කතා කළා කොහොමද කියලා. මම මේමයි කියලා. ආයි කතා කරන්න හරිද මම බලා ගන්න කියලා ෆෝන් එකේ දීපා. අනික අපේ රීජනල් චේම්බර්ස් දැන් කිව්වා වගේ රීජනල් චේම්බර්ස් අපි කොහොමද ඩෙවලොප් කරනවා බලන්න ඕනේ. මේක ඩීමෝටිවේට් කරලා ඩීප්‍රොමෝට් කරලා එයාලට එහෙම එක පොලිටිකල් කරන්න මේක නෙමෙයි කරන්නේ. මෙයා ගොඩක් පොලිටිකල් කරනවා. අනික SOG ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම්. දැන් අපිනේ කරේ ඒක. අපි කරන්නේ අපි ඒක අනික ගියපාර මේ අපේ ගමන සෙක්‍රටරි කෙනා එයා වැරදිට දාම කිව්වා මම එදා ළඟින් මට කියනවා. ඔක්කොම කරපු දේවල් මම දන්නවා. ඔයාලා ඔක්කොම හරියට කරනවා. අපි දන්නේ නැහැ කොච්චර වැරදිද කරලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා කිව්වා. SG මගේ ළඟ මිලකට කිව්වා. මම මොකද වැරදි කියලා. ඒක ඔක්කොම කරන්න ඕන කරපු ඔක්කොම වැරදි මම දන්නවනේ කියලා කිව්වා. ඕන දැන් රෙකෝඩින් එක තමයි ඒක කියලා ඒක බලන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ මම කිව්වා හරි ඒක වැරදි කියමු. අපේ රීජනල් චේම්බර් අපි මේක කෝට් කේස් එකකට ගියා. අපි රීජනල් ඉලෙක්ෂන් මෙයාම කරන්නේ. අපි අවුරුද්දම කරනවා. අපි ඔක්කොම බාර දෙනවා මෙයාට. මෙයා නොමිනේෂන් එකවල රිපෝට් වල කරනවා. අපි එහෙම කියලා කෝට් කේස් දීලා අපි දිනුනේ කොහොමද මේ කමිටි සෙක්‍රටරි හරියට කරපු නිසා. ඒක තමයි මම කියන්නේ good practice නේ. ඉතින් ඒක තමයි හැමෝම ආන්නේ. අපි ඒක මේක නෑන්නේ අපි. ඉතින් අපි ඇක්ටිව් නැත්නම් අපේ රීජනල් චේම්බර්ස් රිගෝ චේම්බර් අපි කාදිනවා ස්ටාෆ් තුන් දෙනෙක් දාලා අපි ඔක සෙට් කරගෙන යනවානේ. ඒ වගේ හැම චේම්බර්ම කරගෙන යනවා. අපි ආන්නේ අපි පොඩි චේම්බර් එකම කරනකොට ෆෙඩරේෂන් එකට කොච්චර හොඳට කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්ද? අපි රිගෝ චේම්බර් බෝඩ් මීටින් එකේ බෝඩ් ඩිසිෂන් එකක් කරගෙන අපේ CEO ට දෙනවා. CEO තමයි ඉතින් ඔක්කොම කරන්නේ. අපි පොයින්ට් එක බලන්නේ නැහැ. ඊළඟ බෝඩ් මීටින් එකේ ආඩුපාඩු දෙපත අපි රයිස් කරනවා. එහෙම අපි රීජනල් චේම්බර් එකක් එහෙම කරනකොට මම ආන්නේ අයි මේ ෆෙඩරේෂන් එක. මම කීර්තිට වයිස් ප්‍රෙසිඩන්ට් කීර්තිට මේලුත් කීපයක් මම දැම්මා අරන්ද. ප්‍රොෆෙසර් ලාගේ කෝල් කරලා දෙනවා නැෂනල් පීට් එකයි අපි දාපු එක විතර දැම්මා. මොකද අපි රීජනල් චේම්බර්ස් අපේ CEO ට තියෙන වැඩ ඕවා බලනවා. ඉන්ටර්නල් කොහෙද තියෙන්නේ මොනවද තියෙන්නේ කියලා බලලා ඔක්කොම එයාට පුළුවන් විදිහට රයිට් කරලා දානවා. නැත්නම් කාටද දීලා රයිට් කරලා එහෙම දාලා තමයි අපි රීජනල් චේම්බර්ස් එක කරගෙන යන්නේ. දැන් නෝටිස් චේම්බර්ස් අපි ඩෙවලොප් කරගෙන යනවා නේද? එතකොට මෙයාට බෑ එහෙම මෙයාට පුළුවන්කමක් තියෙනවා නම් නෝටිස් චේම්බර් ඔක්කොම එකට අරගෙන මේව කරලා කරන්න පුළුවන්කම කණින් තියෙනවා නම් ඒක කමන්නේ අපි ඕකේ. මම තව කෙනෙක් රිප්‍රසන්ට් කරනවා මෙතනට අවුලක් නැහැ මොනවද කමන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. ඒකෙම බෑ. ඒකත් මම දැනට කියන්නම්. මොකද ඒගොල්ලෝ ඉන්නේ කතාව විතර නිකම්ම ඉන්නේ. දැන් අපි තමයි එක එක ඔෆිස් දාගන්න මේව දාන්න කියලා. එක එක දාලා දැන් ඒක මම කරගෙන ඉන්නේ. ඒ නිසා අර පර්සනලි මම කතා කරා මම යාගේ ඉස්සරහ කියන දාවේ යා ඉතින් ඊට පස්සේ දෙකම නැත්තන
I just want to talk one thing. දැන් ඔක පාටින ගොඩක් දේවල් මම ඉන්නවා ඒක. මෙයා කියනවා. නමුත් මම අවුරුදු දෙකක් මොනවද කියපු නැති එක මම totally reject කරනවා. මම strategy chairman හැටියට මම තනියම වැඩ කරලා ගොඩාක් මහන්සි වෙලා මම මිලියන 10ක් ගෙනාවා. හතමාරක ලාභයක් ගෙනාවා. මම මේ ෆෙඩරේෂන් එක අතර ගන්නකොට සම පහක්වත් තියුනේ නැහැ. පඩි ගෙවන්නේ මාස ගාණක් පඩි ගෙවන්න තියුනේ මම ගෙනාපු සල්ලි වලින් තමයි පඩි ගෙවුවේ. ඊට පස්සේ කොහොම හරි මේ අජිත් පුෂ් කළා මේවා කරලා ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් තුනක් ගෙනල්ලා තමයි මේක යන්නේ. ඕගොල්ලෝ ඒක පිළිගන්නවද නැද්ද? ඕගොල්ලෝ පිළිගන්න මම අවුරුදු දෙකක් වැඩ කරේ නැහැ.
I was not in the board, no, so only in your board I was there. But you did during the crisis time. I understand because you was. I was seeing it.
ඒක ගෙනාවේ නැත්තම් මම අnder මේ
Yeah, but I don't know about this strategy. Me saying, I don't know.
No, no. What
But
I
you
say
did-
is, if the constitution says,
Yeah.
right, I was in the strategy committee, we had few
No,
meetings.
you challenge
No,
me that as
no,
a
no, no,
strategy
Shirley,
chairman, I'm not
Shirley,
challenging.
Shirley,
I
it's-
reject it totally.
No, no, you can't reject it totally. What I say is, we were not asked, I mean, you have meetings on your own. You say
On my
3,
own?
no, no, yeah, so strategy meetings, how many meetings we had proper,
No, I
we will
have-
have, you will tell this, that's all. We have nothing to say even or nothing to, we just
I
listen
have
to it.
requested all of you all possible to bring, which is only one who has brought a project. I'm not, you have helped a lot during the study time. I know that very well. I must tell that to you. But I worked on my own during that whole year. to
So
bring
that
the
is
money.
you took the responsibility as a strategy committee chairman, that's
You
all.
can't accuse
That's
me
all.
that I have not.
We would have done
anything to
better.
do that.
In my opinion, we would have done
Yeah,
better.
you would have done, but for 2 years, I.
No,
did my
that's
job.
a constitutional
And when
requirement.
I got the federation to my hand, there wasn't a single cent.
No, I deny
No.
that fact.
It was
No,
running
no.
at a loss and I couldn't even.
No, no,
pay the
federation-
salaries.
Surely, federation has run at a loss for a long time.
Yes, but anyway, now it is running on wheels. Now we can
No,
pay the
no, no,
salary.
no. During, no,
I'm
let
telling
me
this
correct
to
it,
you.
let
I'm
me
telling
correct you.
this to
We
you.
paid all salaries, there was no even
that was
outstanding
wrong.
during Sarat's time. We paid all the salaries we on one everything. You can't say they didn't pay. They
Then
paid,
I took
because I was handling his
federation
finance and
in
I
my
paid.
hand.
No.
There was no money in every
No,
board meeting.
No, no, we had COVID. No.
In my time, I paid all the arrears.
Yeah.
EPA, PPA.
So
But
I-
when I
no.
knew there was no
So I
money.
was
That
sitting,
time,
I was handling his accounts.
That period only we started
No,
perfect
now,
accounts.
now.
And
one-
accounts and everything, we will complete
When I
that
took
period.
over, there were no, in the several months, there we could pay salaries. The salaries were paid by the money I got from the sponsorship, you know. When I took
That is-
over, there wasn't a single cent. I couldn't pay.
No, that is-
I'm not a person who
correct,
pays that, but you
okay.
challenge me.
No, because
Last 2 years I've not
in
done
my
it.
opinion, as we can bring
Not
past.
that you have done anything. You have done according to the.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I think Swati definitely Swati money you brought in anyway, that's what.
See, as the chair, you also, we are appointing from the board of directors a chair. You can't say, actually, you have even ignored the vice president. In the structure of it, it's not the 3 committee chairmen. It's a president, senior vice president and vice president who need to make chairs decisions and come and say, we made decisions.
No,
No, let-
All chairman speaking was invited, is not coming.
no, that's a different matter. That's a different matter. Can I also ask,
There is no such thing in the constitution. What about the chairman?
Yeah,
the
you
3
want to
chairman
say
committee,
something?
It's not there.
I didn't-
නෑ නෑ එහෙම එකක් නෑ මේක. සාරංග එහෙම එකක් නෑ. සාරංග එහෙම එකක් නෑ. එහෙම එකක් නෑ. කොහෙද තියෙන්නේ? නෑ ඉතින් සාරංග එහෙම එකක් නෑ මේකේ. මේකේ එහෙම එකක් නෑ. You all can make decision.
One person, one part.
මේක මේ ඉන්ටර්ප්‍රිට් වෙනවානේ නිකන් ඒ මීටින් එකේ මාත් හිටපු නිසා මේ පොයින්ට් කරේ නැති එකට මාත්
නෑ නෑ I'm not saying-
it is what it was.
No, I am saying it is, there is nothing. I have highlighted this all the time. සාරංග
මේකේ නැහැ චාමන්ස් මීටින් කියන්නේ කියලා. චාමන්ස් මීටින් කියන ටර්ම් එකකුත් නැහැ.
Chairman's appoint කරන්න පුළුවන්. 3 chairmans committee chairmans appoint කරන්න පුළුවන්.
appoint කරාම බෝඩ් මීටින් එකට ඉස්සෙල්ලා ඒ චාමන්ලා තුන් දෙනාගේ මීටින් එකක් තියෙනවා බෝඩ් මීටින් එකට කලින් දවසේ.
ඒක නිකන් protocol එකයි මෙහෙම
ඒක නෑ මේකේ.
එහෙම මේකේ තියෙන ඒ මීටින් එක වැදගත් එකක්.
No, you all can have meetings. Three of you all can't make decisions for the committee.
No,
Board. You all can't make a board decision. So,
That's why I said it
No,
was
3 chairman.
no, what she said is 3 of you all made a decision. Actually, it should be openly discussed in the board. You can't make decisions.
Can I speak this? But
Actually,
I was there.
She took the decision. You all were there. That's all.
I was there.
So that is wrong.
But it's like this. ඒ decision එක ගන්නකොට ඒ ටික දැම්මම but when she said that okay I'll take over wait, I can't remember exactly.
No, they are.
ඔයා දන්නේ නැහැ
I
හිටියේ
remember. No, I remember.
ඔයා හිටියේ නැත්නම්
නෑ ඉතින් මම ඇහුවා.
එතකොට මේ හරි ඉන්න ඇති
මම ඇහුවා කෙලින්ම ශර්ලි ගෙන්.
ඒකේ ආපු එක තමයි right president said okay I will take over the chairmanship
Yeah, but
strategy committee
Not really. We are.
strategy committee, he's PR.
strategy committee ඒකට අපිට object කරන්න ඕනවත් තිබුණේ object කරේ නැහැ.
Oh, now අපි object කෙරුවා ඒකට. On the board we objected. Then it was just ignored, saying we made a decision. That's it. No, no.
Not he not thinking of on you.
No. When he is proposing,
Already-
you can't say thinking of him. He's saying he doesn't want to take it.
I don't think he can propose that.
At the board, he can propose. He-
Now we
Yeah. So Shirley, what I want to know is Secretary General participated in today's meeting?
No, he has said something.
Actually, I don't think, now we can have another meeting, like, it's almost for 4:30. I think till to today's meeting, we'll have another board meeting, I believe.
දැන් අපි තව කෙනෙක්ට පහක් එක ඉන්නේ. එතකොට මම දැකපු දේ තමයි මම හිතන්නේ මට මගේ අත්දැකීම් මම හිතන්නේ අනිත් අයකට වැඩි ඇති කියලා. මම දැකපු දේ මොකද්ද? දැන් මේ වගේ පොඩි පොඩි මේ ප්‍රශ්න. ඇයි එහෙම ක්‍රියේට් වෙන්නේ? ඒවා එදා ඉඳලම තිබිච්ච දේවල්. එදා වස්තු ඒවා එළියට නැවට වස්තු ඒවා ඊට පස්සේ නඩු දානවා. ඒතකොට ඊට පස්සේ ඉඳලා ඔයාවත් අහුවෙලා තියෙනවා. වඩාත් පඩුවක් වෙන්නේ. හරි මම දන්නවා ඊසත් ඒක කොහොමද මේ දාන්නේ. ඒවා ඉන්නේ එතනින්ම එන්නේ. මම දන්නවා ඔක්කොම මේ ගොඩ ගොඩකින් ෆයිල් ලැබෙන්නේ. තව කියන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට දැන් අපි වස්තු ගියා ඊට පස්සේ සරත් ආවා. සරත්ට ඕම් ගහුවා අනිත් පැත්ත. හරි මෙතන සරත් පිට මම දන්නවා මම ඉන්නේ ඔයාලා කරේ පොඩ්ඩක්. මේ බරද්ද ගියේ මේ මීටින් වල මමත් එක මීටින් වල ටිකට ආරම්භ කතා කරා යන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ 2-1 ආවා. 2-1 ආවම 2-1ටත් ගහුවා. ඇයි එහෙම කරන්නේ? එහෙම කොහොමද කරන්නේ? දැන් ඔයාලටත් දෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයා මෙතන අපි හීට් කරනවා හැමෙන් අපි රණ්ඩු වෙනවා. කියන්නේ ඒකයි මම මට තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ. කවුද ඒව හීට් කරේ? තවදුරටත් කොහොම යනවද? මොකද කරන්නේ? මොකද මේ කේප් එකේ මේ දාගන්නේ මේ අඬ නැහැ. මේ තමයි නෑ. ඒවා ගන්න දාගන මොකක් හරි. නෑ chairman's meeting.
chairman's meeting
chairman's meeting. chairman's.
Madam, can I speak, please?
Shirley, no.
Shirley, madam, can I speak on this matter?
What I am saying is, Shirley, like us, we run a business. This is not the first chamber. I have been past chairman of FOIL, right? Past chairman of, I have been involved in Ceylon chamber, so many others. It's not first time we are sitting on a board. When somebody says something, we can read the in-between lines, right? We are not stupid, right? To date, I never brought up and said whether anybody is qualified to be in this board, whether what has happened to this, that I didn't question. I think we have to have a respect to each other, right? We have to have respect to each other. But what was happening, there's a common cause. We are not against that gentleman. He's a brilliant guy, right? Now, whatever happened, Sarat's time, Sarat took the leadership when we had problems. We are not saying we didn't have problems, but strategic committee, I was leading finance for him. We made so many decisions. We put the accounts right. Right? He paid salaries. We paid some taxes during Ruan's time. Yeah. So what I'm saying is now there is a lot of malpractice also. Right? The staff has come and told us certain things. You have told Keerthi, you have told me. Right? Left people who left, why they left, and what is happening, etc. These are facts. The second thing is now even certain things we know what is happening. From the day I asked this 10 million, he's against me. Right? From the day he asked some questions against me. So we have the right to ask these questions. If I'm not doing anything wrong, I should be able to stand and say, okay, this happened, sorry. Let's
Bro,
go to this person.
Rohit,
Yeah.
can I speak?
Right?
If I sit here as the chair,
Or something for the organizers.
most of
event
the
organizers.
things you
I
say,
got
but one
organized
thing I know,
since that day.
that's right.
මට
I'm also
තව
like this.
තව
We
එකක්
don't have another option.
දැන් අපිට
There's
ගිය
no reason to sit here.
දැන් ඔය හැම AGM එකටම
Our images get damaged, honestly, I never allowed that, but it's not only me, to my organization, that's why we are written, to the lawyers, now that letter is very serious matter.
You have sent one to London, I saw
It is not me, you saw, it's not me.
Surely, I think, I think it is in this board, I would propose, please write to them, say this has been a misunderstanding, please accept our apology as the chair, right? Please write to them, we don't want a legal suit. Coyle was going to put a similar letter, I'm the one who said, okay, let me speak first and see whether we want to send the letter
No,
or
they
not.
want to pull out from the
Right?
registration.
Yeah. So Coyle was very serious, I mean, immediately we want to pull out after that day.
President, can I speak, please?
AGM වල හිටියනේ මම දැන් හැම AGM එකම මේ වගේ මොකක් හරි එකපාරක් මට මතකයි ගිය පාර අපි මෙතන බෝඩ් එකේ ඩිස්කස් කරලා ඉවරලා ආයෙ උතන ඡන්දෙකට ගියා. ඒ වගේ හැම එකකම
හැබැයි ඡන්දෙට ගිය එකම ටක් ගාලා I got up and said something, one settled it. It didn't go this way. It didn't go this way. Sarath year again, it never went. It never went. This is the first time that no, Sarath me one year again, there was an issue. Right, there was an issue. But I got up and said something. What to agreed on that, and then one said this need to be closed. This is what it is, and he agreed. We closed it. Right. So that is all right, because from the Wattu is not in the board, Wattu has the right to come and propose something. So that is, I think that right, we must give it to any AGM. But AGM was closed. This is the first time a AGM, you have been in it, I have been in it, Wattu's one, two of yours, two of this thing. We have never faced this kind of thing in an AGM. And the other thing what I like to say is, vote of thanks is generally from the senior vice president.
Shall I propose to rectify all these things?
Yeah.
Appoint a board.
Yeah.
That I also.
Yeah.
There are so many things
ඒකේ තියෙනවා process issues එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ඒවා ඇත්තටම දැන් ඒකට මම හිතන්නේ කීර්ති කහපලාරච්චි තව එක්කෙනෙකුට සීනියෙක්. Not him because he's academic. I can't decide. I don't know what is, but not him because he wanted to put the මෙහෙම වෙලා තියෙන්නේ දැන් මේක argument and meeting not කරන්නේ නැතුව කවුරුත් ඕනේ නැහැ.
he knows how everything senior, you are a senior, and that is.
My Mr. KT and
A committee, decide these disputes, but these.
Constitution. No, there is wait, something but no. I'll tell you why you all are scared of me sitting there, right? Don't get scared, because Sarath is there. What I am saying, if I am wrong, Sarath will correct. So Kirti or Sarath can lead this thing. I can tell this is what it is. I have known Ajit long before any one of you all, right? So I can tell. I mean, I can tell him there is nothing to say conflict. If we can't clear the conflict, then we have to either bring no confidence vote against Ajit or no confidence vote against Rohit and send him off. There's only two. No, I disagree with that. I disagree. I disagree. Because I'm the one who knows the issues, right?
You have to be called for the meeting. මම කියන්නේ මෙහෙමයි. මම කියන්නේ ඒ කමිටි එක පත් කරන්නේ අපි ඔක්කොම ගිහලා ඔක ගන්න බෑනේ.
Hmm.
නිසා ඒ කමිටි එක මේ කියපු මොකද process issues කිව්වා allegations උත් තියෙනවනේ මේක. serious.
Yeah, so
Doctor, what you say, okay, 10 million කතාව අපි මේ බෝඩ් එකේ කතා කරලා තියෙනවා. නමුත් ඒක ඇතුලේ malpractice එකක් හෝ fraud එකක් වෙලා තියෙනවා. Or as you said,
Yeah.
money laundering නා,
Yeah.
black money නා,
Yeah.
මොනවා හරි issue එකක් නම් මේක serious issue. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ
right, so we'll have Sarath Kapalarichi and Kirti.
Yeah, then they can come and report us.
He also doing, yeah.
Yeah, so Ruwan De Silva can come.
Can I speak? Can I speak?
එතකොට ඒ කමිටි ඒ
No, I won't have Ruwan De Silva there.
but you have to be called for that meeting.
No,
by that vote.
no need to call. They can read the documents. I mean, Sarath has been in the federation. Sarath can read the accounts, ask what it is. Yeah. Surely, right? Whatever I'm saying in facts, right? I'm saying in facts. But most, yeah, most in,
මේ හරි අන්තිමේ නෑ එහෙමනේ මේ දැන් ගෲප් මීටින් වුණාට ඉන්ෆෝමල් මීටින් යන්නේ නැද්ද ඒක ඇත්තටම AGM එකේ වුණාට පස්සේ මම දන්නේ වා ඒ මටත් අර විදිහට කිව්ව කියලා මටත් බෝඩ් මීටින් එක AGM එකේ වුණාට පස්සේ අපි තේබුන්න ගියාම ඔයා කිව්වා
I
මට
said,
කිව්වා ඒක දුන්න උත්තරේ දන්නවනේ
oh, Mama Kiwa will sit and discuss. I volunteered.
මම හිතන්නේ ඇත්තටම මේක කමිටියක් දාලා නෙවෙයි ඇත්තම කියනවනම් මෙතන තියෙන්නේ ඉඳගෙන මේ
මෙච්චරයි කරන්න පුළුවන්.
කෝපි එකක් හරි
Shirley, nah, Shirley, beer on nah, I took him for dinner. Saranga, you don't know. I took him for dinner. Saranga, I took him for dinner. He was there. I took him for dinner and told him, you know, chill out. When these things are happening, I said, chill out. Ajit, Amilage issues, so I said, chill out. Let's put this sort out. It didn't happen, right?
Exactly.
It's not going to happen.
The committee allegations තියෙනවා නම් ඒක අපි වන්න බෑ.
Oh.
ඒක වන්න. ඒක එකක්. හැබැයි ඒකෙන් පස්සේ මම කියන්නේ මේක මේකට යන්න බෑ. අපි ඇත්තටම මේ අවුරුදු දෙකේම බෝඩ් මීටින් වල ඇවිල්ලා මේ වගේම තමයි. මේ වගේම හැමදාම අපි ප්‍රොඩක්ටිව් දේවල් කතා කරන්නේ නැහැ. මේ රුවන් ප්‍රොපෝසල් එකක් ගේනවා නම් ඒකට තියෙන විනාඩි 3ක්. මේවා කතා කරන්න අපිට පැය 3ක් විතර තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒක නිසා මේක මෙහෙම යන්න බෑ. අපි කොහොම කාලේ අපරාධේ සහ මේ වගේ කාලෙක මේ දැන් මේ භාගයට භාගය මේ මටත් වාහනේ ඉන්න බෑ පෙට්‍රල් නැතු. ඒ වගේ මේ බිස්නස් කමියුනිටි එකේ මේ ඉෂුස් තියෙන දවසක අපිට මේක කතා කරන්න උනානේ.
No, I asked for prior approval for my discussion. I asked for prior.
We no regret for having this discussion.
Yeah.
Shameful AGM.
Very shameful.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
I agree.
what happens is our Secretary General is seated there. He is shocked because now he's shocked. He's shocked.
It is not.
It was behavior.
There are so many other people who are outsiders in media. Stressful.
newspaper එකක් හිටියනම් පෙරදිලා හරි අපි ආටිකල් එකක් කියන්න කියලා ඉවරයි. නෑ අපි කියලා තිබුණා.
හැබැයි දැන් ඔය ලෝකේ තියෙන fraud වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒ type එකේ ඒවා ටික මම හිතන්නේ මේ කමිටුවේ
බලන්න. අපි constitution එක වල fraud එකට වෙනම මොකක් හරි fraud එක
Shall I speak on this?
So one knows what has happened on all those. In the end of the day, it's not one against the other. What we are saying is us to go forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Secretary General must know his job. If he's unhappy, he can leave. Right? Or he can tell these guys are not suited and the chair can say, we are bringing a no confidence vote for this director and go. Right? Sooner or later, we are going to bring a no confidence vote on the Secretary General, whether we win or lose. Right? So if that is going to happen, it's going to happen. Right?
No, Rohit, the thing is, I agree. So there are so many things that I have written down. I think what I think making up the make it. And we have to get this has to be correct.
No, that day I had no issue. Both of us, I came to him. I said, I call, he called Ajit. Ajit will meet out. කෙලින්ම බෑ කිව්වා. මෙයාට උත්තරේ කියන්න මොනවා කියගෙන ගියා. I think he walked out. No, I had tea. I had another meeting at the call. වැඩක් නැහැ. මං කෝ කතා කරලා වැඩක් නැහැ. left. He left that. I mean, his duty. He's the host. He should have waited for tea to be supplied. He walked out. He didn't. He,
doctor, කොහොමද වැඩි කාලයක් හරි මොකක් හරි ඔය 10 10 මොකක් හරි පිටර මේ හැදිලා තියෙන ඩැමේජ් එක නිසා මේ පැති දෙක මේ we are going down මේ හැම කරන හැම එකක් හොඳට කර දැන් මොකක් හරි හොඳට මොකක් හරි කරත් ඒක දිහා බලන්න බොහොම සැකේ එහෙම එකක් නෙවෙයි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ ඉතින් මේක තවදුරටත් මෙහෙම අරන් ගියොත් මේ ඕගනයිසේෂන් එක කරාගෙන යනවා.
So I also propose. No, very simple. No, very simple. No, very simple. Chair must know your
fault plan. We'll do it and give you up.
Yeah, if you want a forward plan, we'll write.
Proper business strategy for your forward plan, we'll do it and give you chamber.
There are two
You all
things.
do it, it will work very well. Proper document.
ඒක ගෙනාව කරන්නේ නැහැ අපි
ඒක implement කරනවා. implement කරනවා. Make this committee to the housing board.
Yeah, no. What I suggest is.
ඔයා ගියන් පස්සේ ඔයාට වැඩ වෙනදී අපි හැමෝමත් ඊට පස්සේ
No, ඒක වෙනවා. ඒක වෙනවා because Shirley, yeah, no, Shirley,
One is and maybe Rohit 15 minutes discussion එකේදී ආපු certain things concerning not
3 hours.
And all everything, right? We will consider that.
ඒක discuss කරලා the next meeting
Look at next.
correction of
board
these
meeting, we will
things,
take
no,
some-
next AGM, next AGM.
Not AGM.
No.
AGM එකේ
Next board meeting.
Next board meeting also. Next board meeting.
AGM එක සම්බන්ධ දේවල් තියෙනවානේ board meeting.
Shirley, AGM conduct කරන හැටි මෙයාගෙන් අහගන්න මෙයාගෙන් අහගන්න AGM එකක් conduct කරන එක. නැත්තම් මේ of course. Of course. Now මෙහෙමයි conduct the thing. Let him send us how to conduct the board meeting.
Impartially, unbiased, he can conduct whatever he wants.
I mean, how many times I have questioned him, but I respect whatever he finally tells us. I mean, we don't carry that to next day morning. You know?
Okay, so that's what is
Right,
okay,
yeah.
no, okay.
It's got to be.
Means that I think so.
Minutes.
Confirmation of minutes, last week and somebody confirm.
Shirley, can I speak?
Oh, ඒක මට කියන්න ඕනේ minutes confirm කරන්න ඕනේ. දැන් මේක තියෙනවා මේ ගෝපාලන් අජිත් පක්ක මේක දීලා ඒකීර මගේ ෆයිල් එකට දාලා තියෙනවා. දාලා මට කාල් එකක් දීලා කිව්වා මෙයා මෙන්න මේ ඒවා වගේ කරෙක්ට් කරගන්න. ඒක එයාට ඔයා කිව්වා ඒවල ඉතින් මට කීර්ති කිව්වා ඒ වෝට් මිනිස් පිට කරාට පස්සේ එයා ලිව්වේ. So because of that මේ ඒක නිසා මේක මේ මීටින් එකේදී කරෙක්ට් කරන්න තීරණය කළා ඊළඟ සැරේට මේක කරෙක්ට් කරා. ඔයාලත් මේක මාක් කරලා ඉවරලා තියෙන්නේ? Okay. Subject to that confirmation proposal.
on the goal land letter, the certification was
Oh.
and the receiving the directors from
Hello, Kirti.
Yeah.
one. Has to follow up. There are some others have directed for the
Okay.
entry number was send out this one.
අන්න ඒක ගියසර බෝඩ් මීටින් කිව්වා ඒක ගෝල් ලෑන්ඩ් එක ඔය දෙන්නට පොඩ බල මම ධම්මිකටත් කතා කරා.
මේක මෙහෙමයි. මේකදී අපි
Request that he's leaving it. No, you have to request. You can't demand from a director. He's telling the director is responsible.
So he is preparing the minutes, not
Yeah, no, yeah. So he has to.
we have to.
No, he has to tell it. Yes,
මෙතන මෙහෙම කරන්න කියලා. මෙතන දාන්න මෙතන කමිටි එකක් දාන්න. About this matter and not
ඒ
පැත්තේ ඉන්න.
මම තමයි මෙයාට කෝල් එක දාලා කිව්වේ එතන අපි මිනිත්ස් ඉවර කරලා ඉන්නේ.
Then can subject to such this correction may Ajit ge මම හිතන්නේ වෙන අනිත් මේක කාට හරි propose කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? Can somebody propose the minutes? අපි ඉක්මනට ඉවර කරන්න.
කොලෑන්ඩ් එකේ ඉෂුව එක මෙහෙමයි. මේක මගේ කාලේ
කවුරු හරි propose කරන්නේ නැද්ද? Propose and second.
subject to this
Or subject to those you propose. Who propose? Can you second? පුළුවන්. මෙයා propose කරනවා. Then that is you can come.
right. එක ඔක්කොම හොයාගත්තා ඊට පස්සේ බලනකොට එක ඔක්කොනේ එතන ලෑබ් දෙකක් තියෙනවා. අපිට තියෙන ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් 205. ඒක මගේ සල්ලි වලින් මම සර්වේ කරා අද ටික හරි 20 ගාන විතර මම කරා. මම දෙපාරක් ගියා ඒක. ඒකට කවදාවත් මම බුක් කිව්වේ නැහැ. ගිහිල්ලා හොයලා බලලා නේද කරාම ලෑබ් එක ඒක තුනී කියලා කියනවා. එයා තමයි ඕක ගොඩක් වෙලාවට බලාගෙන ඉන්නේ කරගන්න ඉන්ෆෝමේෂන් එකක් ගන්න වෙලාවට කතා කරන්නේ. ඒක ඔයාලට මම එයාගේ නම්බර් එක දෙන්නම්. හරි. එයා මට ගේසුමානේ කතා කරලා සෙක්‍රටරි ජෙනරල්ට කතා කරලා කිව්වා ඒක ඉන්ටර්න්ට් එකක් දාන්න. ඕනේ ට්‍රේනින් ප්ලාන් එකක්. ඒක විදිහට පාර්ටි කරන්න බෑ. මොකද තියෙන සෙමන්ට් එක තමයි අපේ බෝඩ් එක. නැත්තම් බෝඩ් එක පාවල ඒක නම් මම කියනවා. කාර්යචාරකයන් සාධිත මොඩික්ස් රෙස්පෙක්ට්. මේක ඉන්නකොට ඔය දාන ඔව් ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ කියලා තියෙන ලක්ෂ 10. ඒ සුනිල් එක්ක තව කිසිනෙක් ඉන්නවා. මත් එක්ක කතා කරා. රෙඩ් එක නෙවෙයි. අවුට්රයිට් ලක්ෂ 5 ගානේ පර්ච් එක. හරි ඒක නෑ ඒක උන්ින්නම ලක්ෂ 1.50 3 ලක්ෂ 5000. හරි ඒකට දැන් ඒක ඉතින් ඒගොල්ලෝ ඉල්ලන එකනේ. දාන්නේ ඒක මේ ලෑන්ඩ් එක එඩි කරේවෙත් මම ඒක ප්‍රතිදින ඉන්ටර්ප්‍රෙක්ටරන් දෙවලෙන් තියෙන්නේ අපිට දීලා තියෙන්නේ මූදායින් කොට යාගෙන අපිට මේ පැත්ත දීලා දැන් ඒකේ මම හිතන්නේ දුර්ජනයක් නැහැ. හරිද? ඊට පස්සේ කළු දෙරක තියෙනවා. ඔය ටික ඔක්කොම නැවත ඉදිරියට ගෙනාවේ මම. මේක ඔක්කොම හැංගිලා තිබුණේ. හරි ඊට පස්සේ මේ ලෑන්ඩ් එකේ කොහොමද අපි අයින් කරගන්න ඕනේ කියන මේක කියලා කරලා දාන්නයි කියන්නේ. මොකද පොලිසිය කියලා ආවා. ඒක ඒගොල්ලෝ බොරු වෙනවා අයින් වෙනවා. ඉතින් අපි පුෂ් එකක් දෙන්න බෑ. ඒක තමයි වෙයි. මොකද ගන්නේ ඒවා. අපි එකක් මේක අපිට පිරිනොනින්ද මම පාටි කරගෙන ගිහින් ගේනවා නැත්නම් ඉන්න මගේ ගිගයනවා අදටත් මම වක් කියනවා මම හිතපු කාලෙදී ඕනෑම ට්‍රාන්සැක්ෂන් එක මම වක් කියනවා අද ක්‍රෙඩිට් කරන්න මම මගේ කාලේ කරනවා මම කැමති නැහැ ඒකට ගානක් අනිත් හැක් කරන්න ඉතින් මම කෙලින්ම කීව කතා කරලා සෙකටරි ජෙනරාල්ට මෙන්න මේ පාටියක් කිනු මොකද යක් ගන්න ඇවිල්ලා මොකද කියවන කීපාරක් මේ අයියේ ඉතින් මොකද කියවන මේ පාටි එකට කතා කරලා මේක විතර ගන්න තමයි අපිට ඇම්බුස් එකකට ගොඩ වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඉතින් මම ඔයාලට දෙන්න සුමින් කියලා එයාට කතා කරලා පොලිසියට ගෙන්නලා මේක අයින් කරලා දෙන්න අරකට එහෙම කළා. ඒ ඔය සුනිල් රයි අර බෝගස් වලට මෙහෙට ගෙනල්ලා බෝඩ් එකට ගෙනල්ලා කතා කරනවා.
value value කළා තියෙන එක 300.
Don't worry about now. He's handling
Yeah.
that economic and A information after voting.
Good afternoon. That's good. අපි ඒක දෙන්න පුළුවන්.
සුනිල් අද
200 purchase තියෙනවා.
එතනම ඉන්නේ.
දම් ටිකක් තියෙනවා. මෙයා තින්නවනේ. මෙයාට කොහොමද ගන්නේ? මේ ඔයා කියන්නේ
ඒකට තමයි බෝඩ් එකටම කියන්නේ. නෑ මේ බෝඩ් එකටම කියන්නේ ඒකනේ. අපේ ට්‍රාන්ස්පරන්සි තියෙනවා.
පර්ච් එකට 350 දෙනවා කියන්නේ. සරත් පර්ච් එකට 350 ද කියන්නේ.
අපිට හම්බෙන්නේ 350.
ඉතින් හොඳයි ඒ ගන්න 200 purchase.
Let us handle this
අපි මේ නෝවේජියන් එකේ ප්‍රශ්න ටිකක් හරි දුන්නා.
135
200 purchase.
135.
That's not bad.
135. හරි ඔයා කතා කරලා ඒකට මම බොඩි එකට ගෙන්න ගන්න කට්ටියව. හරි. එයා තවත් කට්ටියක් කියලා කතා කරනවා. මට කවන්නේ කවුරුත්.
ඒක අපි ඉක්මනට කරමු අපිට මේ නෝවේජියන් ප්‍රශ්නේ ඉස්සරහ. ඔව්. මේ රෝහිත මේක ඉක්මනට කරන්න අපිට මේ නෝවේජියන්.
ඕක දැන් කාර්යයක් තිස්සේ කතා කරා. අර කෙනෙක් එක නිසා ගන්න නෑ. බෙටි ප්ලාන්ට් එකට කමන්නේ නෑ. ඒකට අඩු වැටෙනවා කියන පුත්.
ලබනතුමානේ හරි ගිහිල්ලා මේක බලන්න. අපි ඉතින් we can නෝවේජියන්
කොයිවල් විසිට් කරලා දුන්නේ අපේ ප්‍රොපර්ටිස් වලට මම විතරයි විසිට් කරන්නේ.
රුවන් ලබනතුමානේ හරි කමන්නේ මේක බලන්න. මේ නෝවේජියන් එකෙන් අපිට ගැලවෙන්න ඔක්කොම. අනේ පොඩ්ඩක්. That's a great thing. Good news. අනේ ඒක තමයි. ලබනතුමානේ රෝහිත ලබනතුමානේ දාගන්න බැරිද?
මෙයා කිව්වා එයාට ඒකට දෙන්නාට එවන්න කියලා එවන්න ඊමේල් එකක් මේ පොයිස්කන් කැමති කියලා. ඒක කරන්නත් අර අපිට තියෙනවා අපිට පොඩි එක්ස්පර්ට් එකක්.
අර කයින් කරගන්න ඕනේ. නැත්නම් ඒ බාන නම් හොඳයි. අපේ මේ නෝවිජන් වැඩේ මුළුවේ කයින් කරගන්න.
හරි right.
Right, okay. So then එතන matters arising from the minutes. ඒක එකක් අනිත් ඒවා නම් අර ගොඩක් වගේ තියෙන්නේ අර මේ සාරංගයි කීර්ති එකහුව වෙලා මේ අර සෙමිනාර්ස් වගේ කරනවා කිව්වේ about the dollar issue ඒක ගැන තමයි.
ඒක දැන් කරලා වැඩක් නැහැ නේද?
ඒකට ටක් ගාලා දෙන්නකට යන්න.
Ajit, Shirley, can you hear me?
Financial status ගැන කතා කරන්න hello okay status of audited accounts උදාහරණයක් is over ඒකේ draft එක එවුවා ඒක කීර්ති කිව්වා ඒක අත්සන් කරන්න බෑ කියලා හේතුවක් තියෙනවා ඒ කියන්නේ 2019 එකේ ඉවරයි දැන් audit එදා අපි ඉජිප්තුවේ 19 එක 20 එක කරලා තියුනේ නැනේ ඒක ඉවර කරා ඒක ඉවරයි මම අනිත් එකක් දැන් කරන්න දීලා තියෙන්නේ ඒක කරන්නකෝ ඒක ඒගොල්ලන් කීර්තිකෝ ක්වොලිෆිකේෂන්ස් එක අයින් කරන්නේ නැතුව වැඩක් නැහැ ෂර්ලි අපි මේක කොහොම හරි ඒක අයින් කරගෙන අස්සම් කරන්නකෝ අවුරුදු 3ක්වත් ක්වොලිෆිකේෂන් එතකොට ඒක හින්දා ඒ ගන්නයි so now Chamara and Kirti they are having a dialogue ඉතින් ඒක නිසා ඒක කළා 2019 එක ඉවරයි 2020 එක පටන් ගත්තා කිව්වා. ඉතින් අරක ඉවර කරාම තමයි මේ auditor report ඊළඟ මේ කොහොමදත් before I hand over I want to get both the accounts straight. I must say one thing. I've been pushed by Tusita for this. I must say that. ඔයා ඕක ගැන කතා කරා AGMs වල. ඇත්තම මේ audited account ගැන. මේ board එකට ආපු ගමන් ඉඳලාම ඔය accounts ගැන කතා කරන්නේ. ඒක හින්දාම විශේෂ ඒක නෙවෙයි. Something I do. But after every board meeting, he has shown the importance of finishing the accounts. That credit I give.
That is the mirror.
Oh, spirit I give. ඒක තමයි මම මෙතෙන්ට push කරුනේ ගොඩක්ම. I took that into my heart and I thought I'll work on this.
Appreciate,
Oh, pressure.
stay for another 3 months with you.
නෑ ඒ pressure එක ආව ඔයා කතා කරත්
No, all of us say there's nothing, I mean, we don't have any allegation.
that's true. ඒක මං කියන්නේ. ඔයා මට දුන්නා pressure එකක්.
Utmost good faith. With utmost good faith, with nothing, no malicious, absolutely nothing.
No, whenever I talk to you also you talk about the accounts. So that was the pressure. So it has helped the federation. So actually that is why I took this into my heart and I'm talking to Chamar, I'm pushing Ajit, I'm talking to Keerthi. මේක තමයි දැන් මට ඉක්ම ඉවර කරගන්න ඕනේ. So that's it.
Also, we should thank Rohit also to bring these matters.
Yeah, of course. Rohit, yeah. Now, Rohit is very straightforward and very open. He has always, whatever he has to say, then I think we make it in the product. Okay, then that's very issue. Right, officially, this is official. Yeah, then Anitika passing the resolution to remove audit qualification resolution ගෙනාව නේද?
That's already approved.
Huh?
It's there. Right.
මේ සැර එක?
No. That was already approved last year, September.
No. මේ සැර අලුත් එකක් හදුවානේ.
Same one is approved and I had to tell them it's already there. And
This one, few days ago, Keerthi,
yeah, he knows that.
he knows that. No? Okay, can just to remove the
Yeah.
board
Sir,
එක.
this was taken at the board meeting, board approved. So,
Oh, okay. Status of the Norwegian matter is, auditor had sent the letter and I sent it to, Keerthi has sent it to me and I signed and I sent it to the Norwegian embassy. We are still waiting, no reply still, but we gave the letter, copy of the letter to Jeevani to put in the file with the so we are waiting for a reply. We can go without any fear to be there.
You know what, sorry, madam, this, let me send the letter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we have asked for more time.
More time. No, for a meeting.
Yeah. Oh,
Letter is there. And a board එකට දාන්න කිව්වා. That is asking for a discussion. Asking for a discussion.
Everyone, no?
Yeah, you can take time.
Oh, asking they have not replied, so that's buying time and before that, if we can make some arrangement with the land, ඔන්න අපිට වැඩි හරි. එන්න ඒකයි මම වාඩි වෙලා අපිට සමාන යන්නේ. එතකොට the status of ongoing projects by the Secretary General දැන් යන්නේ නෑනේ. We want to have the status.
Yes, though he is not here, I learned that the existing projects are ending by August.
Yeah.
So what we are going to do?
We have to talk. That's in fact, I want today at the meeting, I want to tell Ajit to renegotiate.
This time now, she is going away. This time he is going to face the problem.
I'm with him. Actually, instead of fighting and going into what is not his purview of work,
Yes.
Secretary General CEO need to come out with strategic planning
Yeah,
of
not
what
really
he's going
important.
to do. Just for essentially, maybe now I'm proposing this boot camp. I have spoken to them whether we can get a percentage.
Yeah,
They
I
can't
saw
say
that.
it's a percentage. They wanted us to put it as an administrative fee or whatever. We will discuss. So there is 5,000 pounds. I have shared
Yeah, I
with
saw
whatever
that.
the emails I had.
It has to go into the board, right?
Right. So if the board gives approval, there's 5,000 euro
Yeah.
for a boot camp coming from SARC. So only thing we need to, that we have a project, and if we do this every quarter or so, I should be able to get 5,000 euros to do a project, and maybe 10% of that can be administrative.
No, doing a project is also important.
This is for developing of
Youth.
for, like I suggested now, this concept paper, I send it to President, Vice President.
I saw it.
This is youth entrepreneurship.
Youth entrepreneurship, but we propose first, we will talk with Facebook and
And also, Doctor, I think the youth council is also have a mission.
Yeah.
For youth. They have a huge network.
And shall we also talk? I also thought.
No,
So
Ajit.
I will leave that.
And also the guy who is handling that division, director of youth is also a friend of mine.
Better, you are
Yeah,
talking-
I
I just want to what
Yeah.
there's money already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We,
So,
can we
what-
get sponsorship from outside also
No,
for this?
Now there are two things, right? One is what he's saying. He is doing a thing called demand for youth, right? So we can discuss, maybe we can have a committee. We need to head this, Ajit, not cutting. Then head, we can collaborate with them strategically, how what we are going to do for through federation, right? So let this come